Пошли. Все вместе. Какие ваши доказательства?
They want you to comply.
Cancel culture is about canceling.
Cocainum.
Up yours. Woke moralist.
This is systematic bullying that's happening.
Up yours.
And they believe that they can then
Woke
shut us
moralist.
up.
Not only can you take a load, you can take the ultimate load, and even better than that you find your true calling and destiny in your willingness to take the ultimate load.
They seem animalistic is what I mean.
No, they're worse than animals. Up yours.
The woke mob, they ruin everything.
They stopped
Woke
Ben
moralist.
Shapiro from going to events and speaking. They stopped Ann Coulter from doing it.
I will never surrender even a single inch of ground to a pitchfork mob.
You never cave to the mob.
We will never bow to the mob. Ever. No matter what.
Have it your way, buddy.
You sons of bitches.
Beta, I did everything right and they indicted me.
Do you see the final expression of cancel culture in terrorist groups like?
We'll see who cancels who.
Greetings.
Hey, how we doing, everyone?
Hello.
Hey, we have a special guest with us, Paradigm Shift. How's it going?
Hey, it's going well. As a matter of fact, I'm happy to be here. It is. I feel like this is one of those full circle moments yet again. I remember starting Twitch election day, and I remember saying to myself, all these people I see on the screen. Yeah, it's the thing. We'll get into it later. It's part of a whole thing. And I remember saying to myself, I hope that one day I'll be on the screen with those people. And it's like, now I'm here and it's, wow, surreal.
Well, we're so happy to have you. Tell everyone what you do, where you stream / post videos. So just tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. I had this whole bit planned, but I think I'm just going to do the natural, regular style. Hi, everyone. My name is The Paradigm Shift. And as my name suggests, I like to look at things from a lens of understanding that is grounded in poverty and emotional distress due to that poverty. The best way to explain my stream is to say it's like after school, not in the sense that it's like the feeling you used to get from going to after school, seeing different friends, maybe playing some games, being in a different environment. It's a time where you reconnect with we all have desires. We all have things that we want to do in life. We all have dreams, goals, and aspirations. But there was a time where it was just as simple as cartoons, and capitalism kind of shaves that away from you. I'm the guy who's trying to bring that back to you in an older but more nostalgic form. I do politics, poetry, art, games, music. I should just say it because I said I need to pitch myself the right way to do this. I run my show in seasons. It's the first time any live streamer has actually planned out seasons. My shows are planned in advance. I am currently trying to make this a sustainable living because season 5, episode 22 is the last episode, and that will happen on November 5th, 2024, unless I can ascend a little further and continue the show. So we're all arguing over a narrative. Every stream I have has a coherent theme that spins throughout the entire thing. So every season's about 160 episodes. So I plan this show out 5 years in advance.
I love that so much.
I like how different that is than the usual, what we're used to seeing.
Yeah.
It's really a different way of thinking
That is
about how to
amazing,
stream.
You mean
bullshitting for a living like we all do?
Right. No, trust me, we'll get to that too. Not y'all, but I know we're gonna chop it up on a lot of things. Because Lance, if I'm not mistaken, is this our first time together, even though we've known of each other for forever?
Outside of reading each other or being in each other's chats, stuff like that. But yeah, first time we've been on a panel together, I think. Hey.
I have 2 alternate reality games that run through the stream as well. It's a constant battle of egos that plays into the politics we discussed, that plays into the art. I put together special little breaks in between stream where it's kind of spooky and supernatural. There's a code that the chat's supposed to figure out. The game that we play plays into real life because the idea behind both of these is just quite simple. If that story becomes more popular than me, then he wins because then anybody can make any video or anything about it, interpret it however they want. If my art becomes more than me, then I lose. And it's all of these narratives that I weave into just basically saying, I think that we've forgotten what it's like to create because that's not what we do in this space. That's not something that is a requirement. You got to be able to talk fast. You got to be able to, you know, have facts on the top of your head. Nah, I'm going to make you cry. And then like, I'm going to be like, so what are we really arguing about here? That's me. I'm the paradigm shift.
I like it.
Twitch.tv/the_paradigm_shift. Please let Twitch know that if you make me a partner, I can get rid of the underscores. Call me Paradigm for all things necessary. If you want to see me go wild, twitter.com/MarquisParadigm. I'm unhinged because you can't get away with some of the dumb shit that y'all get away with.
I don't know how you keep track of all that. Like, the interactivity element alone is really, really cool. But then the fact that you're like literally playing a game with your audience at the same time, I mean, yeah, that's impressive.
That's so creative. I love that. Well, you mentioned that you play games too. What kind of games do you play? I'm curious.
Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. My chat just let me know that I had my background on. I was unaware that they could hear that. Thank you, chat. I appreciate it. Yeah, I got it. Okay, cool. I play a lot of games. So like I know I've been a gamer for a long time. I started gaming or trying to go pro when I was 11. And I think me and my partner are right now currently playing Genshin, but I play like Call of Duty. I play Guilty Gear. I'm a very big fighting game player. I was just playing Tekken before I was doing this. I like a lot. I was just playing Elden Ring. I drive.
Hell yeah.
Play a lot of Assetto Corsa, BeamNG. I have like thousands of games I haven't even got to. I like everything. I like a lot of mobile games. I like music, mobile games. I be doing stuff all the time. I don't stop.
That's awesome. That's amazing. People are asking in the chat what happened to Binder. So we were waiting to address that, but I guess we should just say Binder is no longer part of the show.
He died.
He got kicked off. Yes.
Oh, yeah. He got kicked off and then died.
Well, that ramped up quickly.
No, he'll be like.
Binder's gonna be here soon. So
yeah, he'll be here.
He has some family.
He'll be here. Yeah. Yeah, you all knew that joke was coming. We beat that joke into the ground, and we're still gonna milk that joke.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what.
Right.
That's
it's pretty broke.
I think it's pretty broke. I think it broke a while ago. Yeah, I'm with Lance on this.
So okay, we should also some house cleaning. Next week is going to be a little bit different of a show for us. Because we're gonna get the bag. We're gonna switch to Rumble and become right-wing grifters going forward, just so everybody knows. But yeah, no. So there's
we're hoping the money comes first before we get to the Rumble, though. So we're still waiting on the cash, but see what happens.
Yeah, someday, you know, we can dream. But next week when we stream, that's the exact time that the first debate between President Brandon and Donald Trump will be happening. And apparently CNN has some very strict policies. They don't care about fair use. So we wanted to stream it, but if we do it on YouTube, it's gonna get claimed and the stream's gonna get taken down. So what we're planning to do, and you both can correct me if I'm wrong, we're gonna stream on Rumble during the debate and then immediately switch over to YouTube and Twitch and all the regular places after the debate is over, so that way we can then do our commentary. Is that correct?
Or DLive or anywhere where we won't get roasted, essentially, I think is the idea. But I mean, if it is going to be on Rumble, I basically set up an account where the whole thing is a parody of us. So it says like, what is it? The leftist cucks get soyed by their own like wokeness or something like that. So hopefully it'll bring in also a lot of right wingers who don't know why they're clicking on this stream.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll sort it out.
We could be opening a can of worms and get a bunch of like hate watchers who go hard against us. It's you know, it's a risk.
It's Rumble.
Like,
I kind of expect the half of the audience at least to be that, so it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll see. We'll plan something different.
We'll tweet the link out. I'm assuming beforehand, or put it somewhere. I'll probably put it on the community tab on YouTube so followers know.
Yeah, it's very annoying, by the way, that CNN is being so strict, because this is about an election, so they shouldn't be able to just close off who can comment or stream on it. I mean, it's very messed up, and I wish that the Presidential Debate Commission would not allow these kinds of things. But it's a corporation; they can do what they want, apparently, and fair use be damned. So yeah, very annoying.
I'd understand if they kick me off, because fine, or David too, right? Like some filthy Canadians trying to watch, fine, we should be blocked. But like if Americans want to watch it and like learn about their presidential candidates, shouldn't streamers be able to also do that and talk about it? And
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, America's election affects everybody in the world, so all of you should be able, I don't care where you are, to stream this, right? You shouldn't be able to gatekeep it. It's very frustrating.
It's undemocratic to have this much control over it's one of two debates. I'm not sure who's doing the second debate, but they'll probably have similar rules. One of two debates of like the most powerful job in the entire world, and there are all these restrictions on commentary. Like the funny thing is, CNN apparently in the rules you can simulcast it. I think like ABC's carrying it too, but they can't. You can't comment on it. If you comment on it, then they go after you. It's so stupid.
Makes no sense whatsoever. Because it's like that is literally what makes it fair use, right? Yeah. If you comment on it and you add something to it and you transform it,
you can't just trust CNN to properly frame this debate and critique it. I'm sure.
Why not?
Right.
Because of various reasons. They haven't been too great in the past.
They're biased.
As if their commentators are so good, like Dana Bash.
Their perspectives.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Actually, I think she is one of the two moderators.
I asked why not, because I have this insane tension with doing like live stream conversations. Now I know I live stream for a living. I'm gonna explain it. It's everybody who listens to us knows exactly what the fuck we're talking about. Like everybody is aware of like the bare minimum that should be done on every layer of how we communicate information, especially when we got a right-wing freak like Elon, like at the helm of the biggest media center that for all intents and purposes, news channels get their news from X, Twitter. Never calling it X. I hate that platform.
Yeah,
but
anyway,
used to. Bad, yeah.
Used to back in the day, not anymore.
And it's just, for me, I always love like giving quantifiers for statements, because that really removes the doubt that, hey, we know what we're talking about. I've always had to come from a background of, like, I read all 1,000 pages of the Project 2025's. It's a manifesto. There's a name for it.
You actually read all. We might have to ask you about that, because I
got 1,000 questions then.
Yes. I
just memorized the whole thing.
I memorized each pitfall inside of the plans. That was the only thing I could do.
Right.
So out of all the tenets in that book, there are only about 17 ways that plan fails. I know each position, each person, each person's who's up. I know the entire roster, like the back of my hand, for each of the pool of people that they're picking for each position. If they get what, is anybody here watch Supernatural?
No, but I was gonna say I thought David was joking, but you actually have like figured out like potential outcomes on it.
The reason why I do things like this, or the reason why my brain even goes there, is because I feel like nobody else does it. Nobody else has the time. Like, not to be funny, but like, y'all got the nice studio, y'all got the nice rooms, your time is locked into, I got to do this at a certain time. I'm scheduled. I have this, I have a constant stream of things. I don't have that. So my providence towards an audience has to overcome just the bare minimum of I'm reacting to something. I have to be proactive. I have to say, hey, one day, if I get in a position where I have 25,000 people, I've laid out a plan to like stop a lot of things. If we want to eyes on it, if we want to start talking like, hey, let's actually meet up with some representatives and actually build out a concrete plan. No, I'm not doing it yet. Not dropping that yet. Leaving it alone. Just Other
Now I'm
streamers,
curious.
other people, other streamers, other people meeting with representatives and just like saying a bunch of nothing. I'm just ready because and to go back to even the introduction that I had, I have very high hopes for what I can say towards the world, and I want to change the world. So I'm starting from here is basically what I'm saying. And
can I ask what you mean by there's 17 ways in which you could fail? As in, like the plan itself is even more.
It requires so like one of the ways it fails is if you can't change the EPA director, you can't install an EPA director. Can't install an EPA director. You can't repeal civil service protections because those are intertwined. Those agencies are intertwined. Okay, so you broke one layer. You can still mobilize the police, effectively get martial law. You might get a little pushback because you're missing 2 segments, but you still got 15 more. Those 17 weak points are the last 17 strongholds for America. Now, that's a big claim. I could back it up, though. I came prepared. I got my notes over here.
I'm curious. So you read all 1,000 pages of Project 2025. What stood out to you as like the most draconian elements? Because I think that the biggest thing that everybody has talked about so far is Schedule F. And yeah, Donald Trump basically taking control of the administrative state. But what else in particular, like policy prescriptions? Because I've seen certain like assertions that porn is going to be outlawed and LGBTQ plus people will be basically designated as porn. What else is there that you think people aren't talking about enough with regard to Project 2025? Yeah, we'll be designated as porn, so our public
your existence is porn.
It's explicit. It's like public nudity or indecent exposure. You know, if you depending on I don't know how you would enforce that, right? Like I guess if you act effeminate as a man, maybe it's like, oh, gay, indecent exposure, like something like that, or if you're trans. I don't really know, but that's like the outline. But I'm curious, like, what else is there that we're missing? Because there's so many pages, and you could only focus on so much.
All right, I doubt I'm ever going to get an audience like this ever again, so I'm just going to swing for the fences. I'm going to tell you the one big thing that nobody's paying attention to is that Project 2025 sits at the center of the Project of Greater Israel. Now, wow, we're going to make this connection. Give me a second. Okay, so in their book, Jesus comes back, resurrects, swallows the whole island, done. Right? They want to do that here. Sorry. They want to do that here. They want to do that here, and they're going to do it and it's the easiest tactic ever. And I can't believe that, like, it would take Mehdi Hassan 2 seconds. It would take Hassan Piker 2 seconds. That moron 2 seconds anyway. You don't have to actually do something to shatter a nation. You just have to make them believe it's happening. You're starting to see these claims about the 2020 election being rigged again. And they're starting to all simmer at the bottom of like, we're currently dealing with the Israel-Palestine situation. It's free Palestine, by the way, for anybody who's confused. You're seeing these slow returns to the same rhetoric because if the threat is there, they are permanently installed. They can move this plan ahead in any position. The problem or the main thing that I saw in that book, especially around page 720 to 750, I just remember the range, I can't remember the pages, is that they're basically trying to cast doubt in white Americans' lives that anyone who doesn't look like them will never share the same values as them and they must be exterminated.
That's
each
horrible.
one of these pieces, I'm sorry, I'm just giving you the real.
Yeah.
Each one
No,
of these
No,
pieces
this is interesting as
is,
fuck.
is about reinstalling not even fascism, it's reinstalling a visionary, let's say it's a visionary position where there are no people who can tell you no. That's the first tenet of this, is to eliminate resistance. Now, obviously, we can say, oh, police state, military state. No. Have a site leader like Elon make you feel like nobody you're talking to is real. stream something and have everybody report on it, just like the Trump supporters who reported the fake Supreme Court. I think it was the recordings, whatever it was, but they shared fake news. Keep that cycle going. Then you incite one issue. All you do is something simple, a protest, the protest that the Trump supporters were having in Manhattan. I'm in Brooklyn. And everybody cursing. Okay, so what they're planning to do within that book, and Christopher Rufo has said it himself, and he just said it today, which is crazy to me because it's like, wow, nobody pays attention to him. You pick a fight pretending to be somebody. Oh, all the Patriot Front people are feds, right? You're hearing all these narratives about the mixture of the government's doing this, but the government's not doing that. Nobody trusts anyone. While you're all paying attention with that for legitimate fears, because people are crazy, we're just going to start. Yeah, right. We're just going to start slowly replacing your police captains. Slowly pushing some rhetoric around there's going to be riots tonight. Slowly aggravating and pushing and pushing. Their plan is not to just throw it all like Donald Trump gets in and it sticks. No, their plan is to usher in, and that's why I brought up, and we're going all the way back to a circle. I do this all the time. I'm sorry. That's why I brought up the Greater Israel Project, because by insinuating that they will be at the top of the food chain and never leave, their main goal is to purge all those who do not share the same American values, which means anybody who's not a cis heteronormative male or female is done.
Mm-hmm. Is it similar to how Republicans have basically been trying to slowly stack the judiciary in a similar way, but just way more aggressive with way more plans? Because I feel like that's been a way for the Republicans to kind of, on some level, even though they may not be a majority in like the population of America, they've been able to do a lot of things. And normally I don't think they'd be able to do without things like gerrymandering, without things like stacking the judiciary, that kind of stuff.
It's a little deeper than that when you talk about aggressive. Think that, like, okay, who controls the gerrymandering map? Sorry, I'm swaying. I'm trying to remember the pages like word for word. So like reading the book again. It's turning everyone into an effective, eliminating every line that every chain of command between the will of the white nationalists and everyone in power.
That's scary.
And I want to stress this, like, it is not just, oh, if Trump loses the election and then a few senators lose their seats and a few people here, it's gone. No. Someone has to codify, and I really mean specifically 17 of these weak spots, because they're all replaceable. And if Biden wanted to flip over and for some reason go like full dark Brandon and maybe we get blue fascism, he could do the same thing. They're weak to anyone. It just requires somebody to take the helm. I used to say this a lot, and this is the last thing I'll put on Project 2025. You don't need a smart person at the helm. You just need somebody people will listen to. They're aware of that more now than ever. So the fake idolatry with Elon, the fake idolatry with billionaires, the widening gap, everything's starting to stretch. And there's really nothing you can do but notice it. Or else all the conversations that we would have would be pretty pleasant. And, hey, you know, they just installed a new park over and it's the air is so much better. No, we're due for another Canadian wildfire that turns my sky orange. I'm still blaming y'all for the last one, not letting that go.
It's happening. Just getting, yeah, especially from this summer. Giddy up. There's going to be a lot of fires.
Yeah. So so you could kind of see, if you just look to a couple of passages, there's pretty explicit, like, this endorsement of Christian nationalism. Is that common throughout all of it? I mean, I would imagine it is the case, but like, is there, I'm getting the perception that there's like this
Mike, Christ is
between
king. You know that.
Yeah. This link between white supremacy and Christian nationalism. Like it's a mishmash of all of those things, but like at every level, kind of like what David was saying, like with regard to the courts. Like you could just kind of like you change the levers of power, remake the system on a level by level basis, and then is that kind of like are you seeing the Christian nationalism throughout the whole thing as well?
Absolutely. Matter of fact, it's I want to even give it's more like a driving force for, because there's two types of Christians and they're going to go to war with each other anyway. If you look through some of that, you're going to start seeing like it's about like white Christian nationalism, which is that evangelical wing where they all swear Jesus is going to make the return. Is there is the we fucked, bro. I don't like this country no more. I want to quit the gym, bro. So bad. Because it's like there are beautiful things in this world. Obviously, I like photograph and video. You see the quality and everything. Like there are beautiful things in this world, but just like on a whole scale, it's like, how is it illegal to pick fruit? Who made that decision? And let me talk to the manager. Who is the manager? But yes, Christian nationalism as a core tenet to continue to court the right, because I think that evangelical wing, if you really push that testament out there, like Christ is the law of the land, you'd be surprised how powerful people feel. Just, KKK was kind of born out of that, if that's the case we're going with. Absolutely. Like,
it's also a unifying force, because in the right, you kind of see this rift between the Trumpian Republicans and the regular Republicans, to the extent that the regular Republicans exist, and they're insane as well. But like the lowest common denominator there is that they're all very evangelical. They have this set of ideals. They're, Christian Zionists in the sense that they think that Jesus is going to come back, as you mentioned, and it's not a pro-Jewish ideology. It's deeply anti-Semitic, to where Jesus is going to kill everyone, kill the Jewish people. So it's very
mind-boggling.
It's mind-boggling.
Wait, does he kill everyone? I thought like the chosen ones are going to.
It's kind of convertibly killed.
Right. Okay. That's
and I think there's debates among Christians, and these were the debates that my family engaged in, like how many will be accepted. Like there's some line about 40,000, but it's like, no, it's more than 40,000. But essentially, when Jesus comes back, you better convert.
Wait, that's it?
Or you're
40,000?
Yeah, it's debated.
I'm not even going to bother. I'm not even throwing my hat in the ring. There's no chance.
Go crazy. Start sinning,
7 billion people. Oh yeah, no, I'm sinning.
Yeah. And so like that,
they're so
Christianity is what's going to keep them all kind of like held together. Because even if you disagree about like the extent to which you should throw queer people into a blender, you all agree Jesus is God. So that kind of, I think, is necessary to hold that all together. And there's different things that do that same thing, like, nationalism, a common enemy, but Christianity is such a simple one because it's like this core belief for a lot of them. So it doesn't surprise me that Paradigm says that that's kind of like common throughout the whole document and structured around it, because that's kind of what you have to do. It's an amazing propaganda tactic.
Oh, the supremacist thing is scary though. That's part of it that really scares me.
So scary.
That's been effective politically in the U.S. multiple times. Even Democrats have done that. Like that was a part of third wave, politics, where people like Bill Clinton were appealing to white moderates, saying like, hey, there's anti-white racism in this country and it's disgusting, and and we have to stop that. That plays into a lot of like the working class whites of America who are now going to be like, oh, what? They're coming after us? I knew this would happen, kind of thing. So that's terrifying to learn as well, in addition to everything else.
What are your thoughts on how vital Trump is to any of this? Because I feel like he doesn't care about any. He's not Christian. He doesn't care about any of this shit, right? Like this is more about, he wants to attain power because he doesn't want to go to jail. Like he just wants power because he likes power. He likes to be the center of attention. I think that's his whole driving force for becoming president. I don't think he cares any other way. It's more about people around him. Like if it wasn't Trump, do you think they could just replace Trump? I mean, obviously Trump has a certain draw in terms of voters, but apart from needing the votes to win an election, if it wasn't Trump there, they could probably just put anybody else in, right? And accomplish this in the same way.
No, they're afraid that They're afraid that the person, if Trump dies before the election, which odds on the way he's looking as of late, it's looking like the clock is ticking for both these.
They could both go, yeah.
And that's
the best possible outcome.
Right. That's the picture right there. Thank you.
Oh my God, that picture!
Have you not seen that, David? Oh man, yeah,
I've seen that. But that's not real, right? That's obviously
that's real. No, that's real.
No,
it's real.
There's no way that's real.
I thought it was fake. I swear to you on everything.
No way
I thought it was fake. But the guy, but Gary Johnson, I think that's his name, whoever the Twitter profile is. He had like a 3-second video. And he deleted it because people were like, "No way!" I don't know why Fox. I guess everybody's buried that or whatever. But yeah, I don't
know. That looks like a Vic Berger thing to me. Like that's
that's
used to always like make him look all weird.
That's you know what that is? That's talking for 4 hours off of adrenaline. The clock is ticking for him, literally. The pressure of all that, plus like all the drugs he takes to stay up. Like my father's 70 and like he be taking naps like the cats do, 18 hours a day. There's no way that man is over there talking about the snake and the frog or whatever the fuck story
He goes on for hours too. He doesn't stop talking.
About both of them though. They both just seem exactly what I'd expect, like 80 and 90-year-old men to act like, right? Like and I just don't want them leading America. That's all. Just go retire and enjoy life and enjoy your final days, right? Like, goddamn.
So you had asked, would they be able to just put in a figurehead? No, they're afraid of anybody under Trump, anybody who does not have the pull Trump has with the people. They're afraid of.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, that's Trump's only asset, is what I'm saying. Like that is So in terms of winning an election, or I guess even if you're in, what you're saying is that any other president wouldn't have the same sort of support base, even if they've already won the election, wouldn't have the support base to kind of go through with what people under Trump want to do, but Trump can do it because he's like a certain character.
Right. Even further than that. Two things. One, the founders of Project 2025 altogether are very afraid that any leader that they put forth that is not Donald Trump will be assassinated. That is a big fear because you're trying to replace Trump. You're trying to override Trump. You're trying to ride his legacy. You're trying to ride his coattails. You'll never be Trump. We're fanatics for Trump. We believe in MAGA. If you don't say the MAGA line, they are afraid of another hang Mike Pence. Now, this is obvious. It's going to, but it depends on who the person is, right? Like you target AOC, you're going to get a few crazy nutcases who are like, yeah, I'm going to do that. You target Marjorie Taylor Greene, you're going to be a lot less likely to find somebody willing to go there. You need people who are untouchable. Like when we think of untouchable people, the first people that come to mind are Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and who the other billionaire? Jeff Bezos. Right. Like why am I these people are untouchable assets. You do not know where they are at given times. You need untouchable assets to make this plan work. That's another piece. Actually, we talked about two. Let's talk about a third one. The idea is to lock these people in and protect them and insulate them through social media and popular opinion. You realize in this day and age that there's a guy named, I think his name is Ross Vaught. His last name is Vaught. And it's just like him having the last name Vaught and the boys existing is just already a red flag. But he's one of the main founders of Project 2025. I didn't know he existed that deeply until I read that. And then I didn't see his media appearances until just now. Now they're starting to roll out the appearances because Democrats are talking about it. And that's an unwinnable position. You cannot say, if we win, we are going to usher in fascism. Yeah. You're only going to get you're not getting the basement dwellers on the internet. You might get them to feed you narratives or whatever, but you're not getting them to vote. You cannot say, just like in The Boys, people love what I have to say. They just hate the word Nazi. That's all. That is that book. Is doing everything to recodify why we do the Pledge of Allegiance, why we don't believe in abortion. It doesn't matter if people do it illegally, if they find another way. It is just, we will put so much pressure on you that you will naturally kill yourselves as a result of it. Your populations will decline, ours will grow because we have the money so we can afford babies, and we'll have our own baby spaces and communities where we raise our children to be just like us. Repopulating the earth is their goal. If we get like super deep into it, they want, as you said earlier, they want to restrict abortion access. What is that for? It's definitely not for everybody to have more babies, because then we'd care about universal child care and it would become a requirement. They don't have any of that slotted in there. As a matter of fact, if you look even through it, you're going to see their arguments against it. Naturally, over time, the poorest people will die because there are no resources left. And then you know what we do? We do what we did in Philadelphia with the move bombing. Anybody left in them places do not believe in America because they would have moved out and made a better lives for themselves. So we're just going to start clipping zones. And nobody's going to say anything about it because we're America.
Yeah, nobody could stop. Yeah,
we're better than you, and you know it. I'm better than everybody because I'm an American. Why should I ever talk about persecution? We're not a third world country. My arms are in every corner of the globe. I got a base in Antarctica. Fuck around and find out. I run the military if you want that beef. So you put that pressure on the people. You have a pandemic where everybody wants to escape and forget about it. Good times. It doesn't matter who you put there. Trump just happened to do something that they never expected. And I saw it coming in 2016, and I've made this segment on my YouTube, youtube.com/theparadigmshift. Go subscribe now. If I get to like 10K subscribers or I get to watch hours, I can monetize it. And then even though I can't curse anymore, I'm going to get like programs to fix that. And yeah, just go subscribe. Anyway.
Programs to fix that.
So like when you think about it on a deeper level, I made this video a long time ago. It's one of the first videos I've ever made. The 3 Republican camps of thought. And I talked about this burgeoning split between those who see the crazy for what it is, those who see the crazy and are okay with it because they know there are more serious levers that would stop us from trying to shoot down the Jewish space lasers. And then there are those who don't give a fuck and want to see the world burn because they hate themselves. The problem is that Trump was not expecting or the campaign itself, they even said this out loud in 2017, was not expecting to sweep all 3 of them. What is the thread that aligns these 3 groups of people? Well, you're seeing it play out now.
What's so crazy to me is that they're admitting all of this before an election. Like the manifesto itself is 1,000 pages. You can see everything laid out. And so it's so bizarre. I almost think that like, even though they're admitting so much, they've also got to be hiding even more that they don't want to say. You know what I mean?
It's the Heritage Foundation, though, right? Like, it's not technically directly, even though a lot of people who are working on Project 2025 are also people who work on Trump campaigns, administrations. I'm not trying to downplay the connection, but that's
Plus,
how
like,
they're keeping it.
Orgs.
Right, so that's how they're keeping it kind of at arm's length, right? Like this is more conceptual and things like we'd like to aspire to, but we're not going to try and implement these really radical ideas necessarily. Just, these are just kind of a general outline, like
it's supposed to be a roadmap for the first 180 days, right?
Right. I like this conversation, I do, but I'm gonna humanize and rationalize these times that we're in. That was fire.
Wow, that was seamless.
Not to say it, but I always remember that when talking to an audience, there are some people out there that hear this and go, oh my God, let's interpret this whole thing in a more narrower, specific dynamic so you can understand like how it's going to play out. And this is my interpretation of it, but I will say, and I will go on record saying this, I have made thousands of claims over the course of my career. All my videos are public on YouTube. I ain't missed once. Okay, I got a track record. I don't talk about things I don't know about. I don't venture into weird avenues. I'm here for the funny and the real. Anyway, hey, Lance, if you were on food stamps, and let's say you were on food stamps for $500 a month, would you be okay with me taking $400 away to pay for a specific piece of an F-15 fighter jet to be built? Okay. What about 300?
I would not.
What about 200?
I would not. I'll be honest. My amount is going to be $0 for F-15.
Okay, no. That's the point, right?
Yeah,
that's the point.
They can take all mine. I support the fighter jet. I want the. No.
Want that new jet?
Mike loves fighter jets.
I'm a big, fighter jet guy.
Oh man, that's how little I know about the planes. Because I was like, the first thing that came to my F-15. That's something, right?
That's the only one I would know. Like F1, F-15. I don't know.
Right?
F1.
Are they sequential?
F something. F-4250.
So the idea is, if I float this idea to you, you're like, hell no. Okay, now let's say I take out 64 cents out of your food stamps. I lowered everybody in the country's thing by 64 cents to help bring up tax revenue or whatever. This is all hypotheticals. You probably won't miss it. You probably won't argue with it, because if you argue with it, you might lose your food stamps. This is a common case. This is quite literally a case that I'm dealing with now. Okay, what if I then elect Trump and Trump says, we're raising that from 64 to 69 cents? You complain because you're like, well, what do you need extra money from me for? That 5 cents matters in this world. That 5 cents matters. Okay, I tell you what, I'll make a deal with you. I'm going to raise it anyway because you can't stop me, but I'll do it for 2.5. That's the encroachment plan. I'm going to ask you for everything, but I only want that. All I need is this. So by the time we get all the way over here, I've been inching towards.
I see.
Once we finally get to that civil war and race war, and I got to figure out if I got to kill Tony Hawk or not. Like, it's the biggest thing on my mind. It's the literal biggest thing on my mind ever.
It's like the Wesley Snipes meme with the
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Tony.
Yeah, right. And I remember he even retweeted that and was like, you know what, I understand. And I was like, okay. It's that ability to wear people down. I don't care if you raise the tax rate from 1 to 2. I don't care if you raise it from 2 to 3. I don't care if you raise it from 3 to 5. Oh, wait, 5 is way higher. Can you bring that down to 4? You didn't care when I did it through 1, 2, and 3. Why do you care now? You're making more money, right? You're doing more things, right? You're making ends meet. You're still alive, aren't you? You should be grateful you're alive in our country, the country of the United States of America.
So you're saying the Project 2025 is going to be like that? It's going to be incremental. They're going to begin with a handful of policies they could probably get through, and then that's just chipping away at the plan as they move forward.
Well, that makes sense. That's what they did with the court system over time, right? Like
exactly.
I was
like, there's precedent for this.
Little by little, they stacked the courts, and nobody noticed until it was too late. Where it's like, whoa, there's so many judges. I remember, like, even with Trump's term, where Schumer let Democrats campaign, and the way that they got everyone dismissed was, okay, we'll just fast track a bunch of Trump judges. It's like, what are we doing? And now there's certain like circuits in the United States that are just like captured by fascists. It's just, we're frogs in a pot.
Seeing how weak like Democrats are, not even just weak, how enabling they are. They could, they could probably get everything in that 1,000-page manifesto done, because the Democrats are going to help them. Like, it's going to be there is absolutely like no real opposition. It's
you guys want
they have full control.
Do you want some hopium? I feel like it's good.
Yes,
some hopium.
Oh my god, yes.
Lance, if you crashed into the Canadian border on Rainbow Bridge right now, you could probably stop one of the things from happening if you declared yourself a political terrorist. That's how weak they are. That's how weak it is. One of the border patrol, like that bridge, the Rainbow Bridge. Am I getting that one?
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. I don't understand why they let me get off with that. I feel the U.S. would fuck me up pretty bad.
The U.S. would, but Justin Trudeau, if you look at his latest tweets, he's also brought up Project 2025, and he says
Canada's worried. Yes, you're totally correct on that.
You're
worried. There's entire articles on it. Oh yeah.
And that's the other thing I'd be saying. Like, I read these things and like there are certain people out there who don't. So when I say this to them and they're like, that's not happening. And it's like, how am I supposed to have a conversation with you, man? Live in reality. Anyway, basically an international terrorist threat could allow Joe Biden to declare what is the not the there's it's the same, the National Defense Authorization Act, and it locks down a position and it exchanges over terms. It happened before in 2016. There's somebody who's still at the helm, not Mark Melly. There's a lot of names. So many politicians' names. Everybody's named a generic white guy's name. Oh man, Richard.
AI generated sound.
Right, like. So from now on, I'm just going right.
Johnny.
I'm just going this guy, and that guy. But anyway, it is the hopium is that these can, if you just had like the right people who just thought about it for a second, there are certain levers you could push right now that could at least thwart that plan from existing for a little bit. The only way you will truly rid yourself of Project 2025 is if the Democrats go full swing and do what I've been asking them to do for decades, ever since I could think about politics in my Model UN program. You have to do a blue sweep. You have to have the Democratic Party put up candidates in all 50 states. You don't have to back them with money. You don't have to back them with press. You just have to associate them. And you have to continuously, every election cycle, every year for 4 years straight, keep drilling it into people's heads. Every time we lose and your conditions get worse, no, we could have changed that for you. You want to get these Gen Zers. You want to get these alpha kids. You want to get these people involved in politics to a degree where they don't take it serious, because more people are going to be like, yeah, shit is fucked. The earth burning. Why don't we all just get $600 checks? You want that. Wait, this doesn't have to be that difficult. But this would require a big, huge component of the United States to realize how much power they have with withholding their labor. Because right now we're at a point where, like, I'm telling people, I think the main argument you should be making now is not vote for Biden because he's not Trump. Vote for Biden to stop fascism. Vote for Biden. No, I'm voting for Biden because he's one of those levers that if I let that go, it starts a cascading scale. I'm voting for him because, or I'm choosing to not place my vote with Donald Trump, even if I abstain or don't vote, because I know that that plan moves forward whether he wins or not. That plan moves forward. I'm not voting because I like the guy. I'm voting because I don't really have a choice. I have to make that move, that one piece of move, so I can make sure my homies in Ohio is good. So that way they don't get slammed down with the government said, well, yeah, we could ban all trans people from there. And then we start hearing the murders and the Crystal Night, and we're hearing all this. And it's like, that's one thing you could argue for. Biden won't do that, but at least it'll slow it down. But focus more on, and again, this goes back to the Democratic plan, local elections. Local elections. Top-down progressive movements. Everybody has to adhere to these principles to be a part of the party. Reform the party. I'll give you the win. What you're telling me, though, is when I give you the win to Biden, you don't have somebody ready in 4 years. You don't have somebody who's as sharp to get that plan and say, there are 17 pieces of this we need to protect right now. Meanwhile, I'm going to give everybody extra food stamps for 6 months. Keep them happy. Keep the poor people happy. And then I'm just going to codify all 17 of these positions. All right, that's their plan. Now they can play on the even playing field. We have politicians in office right now saying things like getting donated by AIPAC and then clearly making statements, the ICC is rogue, a leftist prosecutor ICC. Like, we had parades in 1942 for Hitler. We are not removed ever from that being a part of our culture.
Oh, God, no.
We just need just something like, we need a nuke. Just a person, a place, a point in time and reference where everybody says, I may not like Mike, I may not like David, I may not like Lance, I may not like Paradigm, but in the middle of this entire conversation is a point I cannot deny. I move forward from there and grow. I don't think we have that set up on the leftist spectrum because we are consistently battling this narrative about demons and boogeymen that do not exist. And the people that they're demonizing are our friends. Let's be real about it. Like, we know everybody who's heard some weird shit. We've seen women in the space, literally as of now, getting trashed. Brianna Wu going left, right, up, down, doing some off the deep end shit.
Twirling towards freedom.
Like, on some,
I gotta say, the real barrier, though, I think, is that the people that have power that would ostensibly be, like, you know, on our side, like, are not doing anything with that power to actually benefit the things that you say need to be done
I agree.
in order to stop what is happening. Like you mentioned, like, or it was I think Mike mentioned Chuck Schumer. Like, these are people that are helping Republicans. Like, this is a guy who helped to invite Netanyahu to give a speech. Chuck Schumer
After
helped,
saying he should
was
step
part
down.
of that. Yeah. So
and what's worse? Did you see him
barrier.
grilling? Did you see that photo of him barbecuing?
Oh,
he put cheese on raw meat. Yeah, he deleted the photo when he got called out. But I have no idea.
What the hell?
Yeah, he deleted the photo. He posted a grilling photo of him grilling, and then it was clearly a photo op because he threw the cheese on the raw meat, and then, like, when everyone called him out, he deleted it.
Hello, normal people. I grill too.
I know.
Oh my
God, Chuck Schumer. The only thing that was disappointing, is, aside from the cheese on the uncooked meat, was that he missed an opportunity to do a pose with his glasses down. Like, he always
he loves
why?
That's
your
a good impersonation right there.
Yeah, that's your signature, and you're not, like, with the uncooked meat. Because then you can be like, oh, see, he didn't have his glasses on. That's why he put the cheese on the raw meat.
You couldn't see.
That explains it.
Like, not even to be funny, but let's be funnier. Like, you have, like, these people have no culture. Like, you don't know what sazon is. Like, it's core basic tenets of, like, life at this point. You should be able to make yellow rice. You should be able to make arroz con gandules. Like, you should be able to recognize other people and other cultures. So I'm going to lock this down to why I even began to look at Project 2025 from my African American perspective. We're dragging it there. I never got a chance to be racist. I never got a chance to feel like I was better than somebody else because of any characteristics inherently born out of our nationality or ethnicity. I was immediately thrust into a classroom when I was 6 years old that had 2 Muslim students, 2 Spanish students, 2 Puerto Ricans, a Dominican. We was all just cool. We all came from the same place. We all did the same things. We may speak different languages at times, but you always welcome in my house for a plate of food on Thanksgiving. If for some reason you find yourself not able to feed yourself that day. Those people that we're talking about, those politicians, are so far removed from that core tenet that they just, what? My food doesn't have to taste bland? I usually just get it ordered since I'm so busy. I always eat Panda Express, and it's like, go on a vacation and, like, get mugged and just see how your heart feel. You know what I mean? Like, just see how your heart feel after that.
Grow as a person. Come on.
Right, like, just get mugged. And then like, you lose your wallet and you see, like, maybe $3,000 missing. You get 50,000 from APAC tomorrow. You good? You in the red? Like,
that's true. That's true.
In the black.
I gotta
like,
say, I appreciate that at the beginning of your sentences. I have no idea where you're going to end up. It's always going to be
there we go. That is my stream in one sentence. Every time I open my mouth, you never know where it's going to stop. I appreciate that. It's just the casualty of understanding what it's
You're
like.
right, though.
I guess,
You are.
be poor.
They've disconnected from this very idea. They try to be human. That's the only reason why Chuck Schumer would hold a photo op while grilling at his daughter's house, and then be like, "Hey, take a picture of this quick. I'm doing
He's
a human
LARPing.
thing," and then just he's LARPing. He's LARPing as I totally prepare food at home, just like you, the poors. And that's like, I don't believe you, because no one would do this shit. No one would throw this cheese on raw meat. That what
They pose for the photo, toss the food in the garbage, and then the private chef comes in, I imagine, and then cooks an amazing 4-course meal. I don't know.
And you're never going to get those experiences. I remember thinking to myself in 2011, just started college, and I had got a settlement from a car accident, and I was like, Six Flags, we should. It's only $100 for a season pass. You mean all I gotta do is pay $100 and I can go to Six Flags whenever I want? Oh, that's easy. That's light.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's probably more expensive now, but like at that time, it was $100 for a season pass.
That's actually really affordable.
Right?
That's less than the zoo pass for Oregon Zoo, I believe.
Really?
That's insane. Yeah. Well, I could be wrong now, but yeah. Although I'm afraid of theme parks after the there's a situation that happened in Oregon. But I'm sorry. Continue.
Oh my God. You can't just leave me on that cliffhanger. Now I kind of need to know about
what happened at the zoo, Mike?
Right.
No. So there was a viral video of these people stuck on a ride that was upside down for 30 minutes.
I saw that. Yeah. The circular one.
Yeah. That's in Portland. That's Oaks Park.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
My niece was just there like 2 weeks ago. We used to go there as a kid, and it's so crazy because like when we would go there, they had this roller coaster that's finally replaced, but it was like an upside down loop coaster. And every time I'd go on that, I'm like, this motherfucker's gonna get stuck, or the car is gonna come off. Like all the rides are like rickety. But what's funny is that that ride is actually new. They just put it in 2021. But that's the ride that gets stuck upside down. It's so crazy. So yeah, that one, it's funny seeing everybody react to it because I'm like, oh my God, that's Oaks Park. Holy shit.
Modern problems require modern solutions.
It's true.
So crazy. And we had local news reports. I fucking died laughing because they're just like, they're interviewing people and like, yeah, it was really scary. And this young couple, they're like, they just graduated high school. They went there to celebrate and they're like, yeah, this was, really, really traumatizing. And they cut to these kids. They're like 11 years old. And this kid is just like, yeah, people were screaming and then they threw up. And I just like the way that they said it so nonchalant, and then I pictured like throw up like just coming down from the sky.
Yeah, just dripping down.
Just like, oh my, like what this is so surreal. This is like Black Mirror shit. I mean, it's not that absurd because it's happened before, but it's just so weird when it's like in your backyard, like Oaks Park. Like I've been there so many times. Like I got
right? Afterwards,
everybody was okay. Somebody went to the hospital out of abundance of precaution because they had like pre-existing conditions, but it's just weird that like that happens so close to home. Like I remember I pretended to be under 17 when I was like 23 to get the bracelet so you could ride all the rides all day. It's like that happened there. What? It's weird. That's my backyard.
Felt that. And these experiences like, oh, that's my backyard. Like you relate to stories you hear and know what probably needs to be fixed. Invincible tackled this conversation before with Adam Eve. She was trying to build new things for the community, and she ended up installing a fountain in the wrong place, a park in the wrong place, and a pipe exploded, and like people got hurt, and she felt so bad about it. And when we want to help, when we want to empathize with situations that are around us, I feel like the thing that we don't do often enough is say, well, how could we stop it again? No, we actually need to ask, why did it happen in the first place? Like, and I'm going to relate this all the way to like a bigger conversation that I think all of you have probably had on your shows. Well, I watch every one of you, so I know you've had this conversation. What's your plan? Are we going to make everybody homeless? Are we going to make everybody have homes? Or like, is there just going to be a section of the population that doesn't have homes? Like, is the point not to get to 100% everybody housed? Is that not what the American dream is, for everyone to get a house? Well, then we're going to have to do that, because if the goal is that, you can't have people, the market would crash if you had 100% that. It's the definition of scarcity. Bringing it all back. I'm sorry. I get mad at capitalism a lot, like because it's just every contradiction to how I want to feel about things and express empathy is blocked by. I know people will not have time to really dive deep into examining themselves because they still have to go to work. They still have donors. They still have sponsors. They still have requirements. They still have, I have to do an ad break and hey guys, this stream is sponsored by Angry Orchid, hard cider, 5.5 and gluten free.
Is that the rosé flavor? That one's good.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that was my favorite.
It's just to me, I understand consumerism, and I just feel like the world could just be so much more positive if given the right time, ability, and air to breathe. And I thought that's what the pandemic was going to be, air to breathe,
I did too.
And it was not.
Consumerism is such a necessity for capitalism because it's a good distraction, right? We're miserable, we're working, we're overworked and underpaid, but yet, there's this nice little shiny thing we could purchase. There's a new thing, different brands. And those things kind of keep us distracted. I think that
if you work really hard, you get. Well, I was going to say you get a vacation, right? If you work really, really hard,
you got to work really hard.
Best
for
thing,
that.
But the best thing under the system is that you get to have a week somewhere else, and then the people there can work for you. So that's fun.
Yeah. And if you don't request that vacation at least 6 months in advance, they're not going to approve it. So you better.
Yeah.
It's just all right. Yeah, it's a brutal, ruthless system.
I would love to ponder a switch of topic with you guys, because I feel like I can provide a lot of information on the ground, and I really mean the ground level of I'm not a big streamer, I'm not a big person, so my ears and eyes tend to be a lot wider than most people's because nobody's noticing me when I'm a fly on the wall. I want to ask y'all a question, and I really mean this beyond your personalities as on-screen personalities. Do you ever find that being a leftist is fucking annoying?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But like, if you mean are people who are on the left annoying, I'll say this, like, if you are and you believe in leftist ideas because of how people are nice to you, then obviously it's going to go, like, you're going to disintegrate instantaneously the second someone you disagree with, right? Whereas most leftists are always disagreeing with leftists. Like, I'm not a leftist or I don't believe in leftist shit because a couple people were nice to me along the way. It's that, like, once you start doing research into this, it's like, okay, now that's how the world works. Oh, okay. So I guess there's really one of two choices. You can either believe in the idea that there are those who need to be the bosses, who need to be able to employ other people. It's not exploitation, it's job creators. That's one way to think of it. Or the other one is, oh yeah, the system stratifies society, creates classes, creates class antagonism. There's other ways to do this. Should we not go down that path instead, right? And that's usually where I find if I argue with like liberal family members, they're gonna be like, well, I know, but some people are lazy. And then we have to account for the fact that lazy people, they're not going to create jobs. They're not job creators. And there are geniuses who create jobs in industry and then employ tens of thousands of people. And it's true. There are people who do that, but that's not necessarily because their divine prophets are brilliant. I mean, look at Elon Musk, right? Like, maybe one of the biggest clowns operating on the world stage, and the guy does not deserve, what was that new bonus he just got approved by the courts, like $56 billion.
54 billion,
something like
that.
Does he work 54 billion times more than his employees do? What is that, a 412 to 1 ratio, his workers to him? The answer is obviously no. It's nonsensical. It's
you can track his time on Twitter. He actively you can track his time on that website.
Yeah,
unless you're unless you're split screening it and doing work on one side while shit, but you have to spend time to read that. And I know that boy suffered with ADHD. That's the least of his problems. Like, I know you scrolling. I know.
Just to get back to what's annoying about being a leftist. Like, for me, it's not about the like disagreements. Like, I could tune that stuff out. I don't really care. For me, it's just about having to care. Like, I feel like I wish I didn't have to care. Like, I wish I could like kind of live in my own little world and I don't know, find something else to do and just not have to care about other people or the rest. But
Be a video game streamer or commentator or reviewer. I would love that.
Believe me,
so
I've tried.
I know it sounds.
I'm just
like
not that
Zen.
good at it. It's yeah. I would. It'd be great to be able to like disconnect and not have to honestly do this, or not even about this, but like just not have to pay attention. It would be really great to not have to pay attention. So that's the annoying part. But I feel I can't escape it. Like I have to pay attention. I have to discuss this shit.
That, because ignorance really is bliss. But on top of that, just the most annoying thing about being a leftist for me is not knowing what it's like to win. And that's kind of part of the process. Like, you are going up against behemoths. Like, it's David versus Goliath in perpetuity. So, you know, winning is kind of like an anomaly. When it happens, it's great. But, you know, how do you even define winning? Getting like a couple of members of Congress elected? Like, what does that even look like in actuality? So, like, winning is so difficult. Like, you know, if you think about the difference between like a leftist and a conservative, like, their utopia is just seeing Trump get elected again. And that's it. All the problems are solved, right? Like, but it's not that simple for us, because we know the way that the system works and how difficult it is to change things and how much things needs to be changed. The way that like white supremacy and patriarchy are baked into the institutions, like, to disentangle that, it's not as simple as, hey, we just elected this dude who said he's going to do good stuff. So just not ever having the satisfaction of like, we did it, we won, even for like a temporary period, is one thing that's frustrating. And I say this because like I experienced victory when I was a young lib. You know, when Obama got elected, I remember tears streaming down my eyes. My dad, we were both crying together. We're like, we did it. This is the end of history. You know, but it's like, oh no, you learn it's not that simple, is it? And I want that feeling back, but you can't unlearn the shit you've learned.
But like for real, like you want that feeling back, but like it not like let you down.
Okay, so I guess, you know, the little guy, just like I always am, time to shift the paradigm. I'm going to give you a victory. I'm going to give all three of you a victory, as a matter of fact. Give all three of you a victory, because you three helped spawn somebody who now is very close to the president and has blocked and helped block many, many trans bills from even reaching the table, and changed the entire Democratic caucus to force themselves to only pay attention to pro-LGBTQ people and do background checks on these people and begin recertifying and reorganizing. I think that's the word, but reordering is really like it. They're cleaning house. Every center that has done wrong and or not the proper jobs towards trans people in the government. You might have heard about a recent merger that just happened between the NCTA and another group. Anyway, the Trans Advocacy Board is getting much, much larger. And the person who's at the helm of it used to hang out with y'all. I think Lance might remember this person, Josie Rose.
Oh, yeah.
I remember Josie Rose.
Definitely. Yeah, totally.
Well, I'm just saying, not everything is as dark as it seems. That's the biggest win I can give to y'all is it gonna change one way or another. We got a few players on the board, and they're on the board. They're not even, we're not talking pawns. We got some knights and bishops now, maybe even a rook or two.
Okay, I like that. I didn't know that Josie Rose had done all that. I talked to her a couple of years ago. It's been a while, but yeah, shit. That's a good win. I like that.
That is very, very cool.
Yeah,
best
that's a huge
do. Well, best I can do. I asked that question because I feel as though I think pragmaticism is a problem when you're dealing with having conversations like this on the internet. I can legitimately, like, if you guys were to ask me questions, I could probably solve a lot of problems of a country. Like, I can base my math, I know who's in certain positions to make changes. I can list everything up, down, left, and right that you could probably put into place. But when I try to do that here, the most annoying thing, and I used to think it was my own self-doubt, but it was actually my exposure to like the worst of people in this space that I tried to make conversations with. I always have to prove myself. Like, I really like that Lance jumped in immediately and was like, I have seen a lot of articles. There have been a lot of articles written about Justin Trudeau and Canada being afraid of Project 2025 and what that means for the bordering states. If Lance weren't there, half that chat in my chat right now would have been like, yeah, right. In this space, I feel like I think, and now we're getting to like the fun and or extra part of the conversation, because now I got y'all in the room. I feel like I know that there are kids on the internet, and I know that I might at some point be having a conversation with a 17, 18-year-old. You're stupid. You're dumb. But like some of these people online, 35, 40, 45, talking that heebie-jeebie gibberish, that's an awfully hot coffee pot. For me, it's annoying that people have gathered such a massive audience spitting bullshit that you could
or hatred.
Or back to
like
Brianna
hatred,
Wu,
right?
Yeah. Back to you're setting up this world in which I'm supposed to believe that like your words matter because you have a legion of people who make those words matter. Well, okay, I want a legion of people too. Matter of fact, I want your legions of people, because now I'm at a point where it's driving a wedge in my heart to be creative around these spaces. I don't fit in around here. I never have. I probably never will. I mean, I like y'all. I think this is a good mesh. Y'all need to have me back on one day.
Well, I was gonna say you fit in here.
Yeah. This is a safe space.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They let me be part of the show, so I mean.
And it's just like, for me, it's like I could really sit here for 6 hours and break a person down, but I want to know more. That's what I want to do. I want to get to a point where, like, let's say somebody bothering Lance and like it's looking into, tag Paradigm, he'll handle that. That's kind of what like I want to be in the wings. I want to be the.
Oh, you're talking about for like online communities. I think one of the wild thing is for a lot of those individuals, a lot of the massive streamers who have a lot of big followings, I think they do have this persona of being like everyone's afraid of them, everyone's scared. These are all just like, the big, either debate lords or whatever of the internet. I don't think most people realize it's not the individuals that a lot of people worry about. It's those communities. It's like people who have Reddit followings with 100,000 followers on Reddit that will literally harvest mine like all your data and information and put up like, here's an old clip from 4 years ago where they said something pretty offside. Here's an old clip from 20 years ago. Here's a, blah, blah, blah. Oh, it turns out one of their mums is like a house owner who had bad rental policies or so. Like you'll see that data mining. That to me is why I think a lot of people are scared of those individuals or those communities online kind of stuff, rather than like those people are actually like titans of thought. Like, the actual hosts or streamers themselves or YouTubers or podcasters. I think it's more just their communities can be so devastating that it's not worth it for most people to fight them.
All right, let's get personal then. David, you and I have never met, so I'm directing it towards you because I feel like I'm banking on just being a friend of Lance right now. So when I bounce off my ideas, I'm just like, he won't find me weird. He won't disown me.
David will.
David will, right?
David's the toughest audience here.
I'm not a tough.
I'm just kidding. No, of course not.
I when I was younger, I used to participate in 4chan threads. I don't know the distance you guys have to the internet, but back in the day, there used to be this thing.
Oh, we know what 4chan is.
Right? No. I'm not. Oh, definitely. I know y'all know like the dirt.
Lance knows a little bit too much. He's on there every day.
Yeah, like
I'm a power user.
I used to do this thing where I would participate in these threads called the Times Square prankster like line. Basically, CCTV cameras used to broadcast Times Square 24/7, especially after 9/11. You always want to have a constant feed of anything possibly going down. However, One of the cameras was pointed specifically at this tourist, like, one of the tourist shops. I love New York tourist shops. And there was a postcard standing. Hey,
Matt.
Hey, everybody. Sorry to interrupt and sorry that I'm late. How y'all doing tonight?
We're doing well. We just told everyone we kicked you off.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I'm back.
I told them you died, actually.
I've actually, I've risen from the dead and I've forced my way back onto the show. So sorry.
My man said I got up out the grave. I got up out the grave, and the first thing I did, logged on. I know I'm missing something.
I mean, the real reason I was out was because it was my son's sports awards night for his sports team.
That's awesome.
You were a little bit late. Get in the medals and things like that. Yeah.
How dare you go to that and just abandon us, Matt?
I know.
What's more important?
Yeah,
no, that's great. That's
faster.
So
I mean, well, I will be legit though. While I was there during a short break where they were giving awards to the kids who were not playing sports that my son does, I did log in to StreamYard to make sure that my accounts were attached. So I was still streaming via my channels, so I could still get my super chats.
Of course.
Secure the bag under all costs. Felt that.
Now continue on as if I did not interrupt. Go ahead.
So I participated in these threads, and basically what we would do is we would set up some poor son of a bitch to, like, specifically at a time and place go knock down the postcard tower. It got so bad that eventually they moved the CCTV camera. So some poor son of a bitch went and rewired it to reconnect back to the thing so we can continue it. If I had known in that time, and this is leading to why I even brought up the whole thing about online communities and their cultures. If I had known at that time that I was participating in the burdening boils of Gamergate, I probably would have stayed away a lot quicker than I did. Obviously, I left the site, duh. But there was a thing that happened. There was a person, Facebook comedian known as Cell. Cell was huge at the time. One of the first Facebook comedians. His real name is Carl Shelburne. For anybody who doesn't know about Carl Shelburne, if you look up his name, you're going to find his charges. Baca got weird cases. Why is he around? Cell did not like me because I was in a fight with a friend of mine in real life who turned out to also be another one of these popular, this is back when Facebook was actually a platform, popular Facebook comedians, Barack Obama. These two kind of wielded massive communities of 4chaners that they were unaware of. This is before like follows mattered. This is before you could track who, like live streaming and everything. It was really just I say something and it stays up for a week and good luck. So 4chan and a lot of groups went after me, doxed, threatened, all the things. So I said, and this is because I happened to have money at the time, so I thought I was untouchable. Let's go to war. Let's do it. You doxing me? I'm doxing y'all. Y'all see me still standing here, right? I have never been afraid of anyone. And I'm trying to build my community around that core thought that I think even the most staunch person with the staunchest positions has something buried in there. There's a feeling, there's a date you went on and that girl broke your heart and you hate women because of it. There's something in you.
Usually.
Because I know for a fact, like, okay, you got conservative grifters, you got that white lady that was like, oh, all the black people played their role right. But you got people like Ben Shapiro. And thank you, Matt, for bringing that up because I'm going to tie this into my last thought. You said you were there for your son's awards. Gotta feel proud. Gotta feel proud. Ben Shapiro has had to have felt that pride at one point, which means you've had to have felt disappointment at your kids at one point. Everything you say does not come from that place. So either you don't actually feel that for your children, or you're a piece of shit. Why you got a media empire? Why am I fighting you? Why am I boxing with you? You're not even on my level because you don't even have the empathy to drag yourself down to say, yeah, maybe we shouldn't maybe we should let parents have their children when they're ready. Because if I didn't have a child when I was ready, if I was somebody different, I wouldn't be able to maintain their lifestyle. And maybe I'd be thinking different for them and treating them different. But you still felt that pride. It doesn't matter if the kid is, if it's me and it's a poor kid and I win an Uno championship, a billiards championship at my local boys club. That same pride carries with parents. Okay, so why are you building a society where I can't feel that pride? Why are you taking away all the spaces where they used to perform and do sports? And why you signing this legislation? Why are you talking this bullshit, bro? Because I can't live in your world because your pride to your kids is not going to be the same as the pride towards my kids. And that's a problem because we're supposed to be building this world for the next. When you said that streamers are not the issue, it is that big think tank under them.
Oh no! Don't get me wrong. They are the issue. They are the ones cultivating a fan base who
go
on the attack. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm saying that they themselves are not like a lot of people sometimes think when there's this massive streamer debate lord or something like that everyone is afraid of them. And I was like, I think a lot of people just don't want to engage sometimes with those individuals because they just don't want all of the trouble it causes. Is it worth it to me? What's the over under? If I go after and attack this person on Twitter, am I for weeks going to be appearing on this person's Reddit? Are they going to bug me daily, dox my family, all that kind of stuff? That's the world they cultivate.
And I'm wondering why, and I will stop talking after this because I keep going. I wonder why us as leftists, and this goes back to the main question and why I asked it, why us as leftists don't have that shield. If we're going to do this, then we're going to do this. Why does Steven have that shield? And Matt doesn't. Mike doesn't. You don't. I don't. Why don't we have those? Huh?
No, I was joking. I was like, Matt does. because genuinely, it's also sometimes a reflection of the individuals, right? I think if Matt Binder was a super angry, aggressive person, maybe his audience would be super angry, aggressive people, but he's more factual based and he wants to actually have conversations with people and have them call into Skype and stuff like that. And then that'll foster more people like Matt who are curious. And you're I also want to learn about the world and I also want to read about technology and I also want that. That's why I identify with Matt Binder and watch his streams, right? But if you're someone where all I do is I exist to destroy the weak soy betas, people like that, then they're going to cultivate that. Then they're going to get an audience of other people. Yeah, that's Mike. That's the human.
At least when it comes to old people, he is cultivating an audience of
yeah, that's true. Actually,
viewers who want to attack the elderly.
Yeah, that's Mike's name.
I'm just saying, we could have fun with this. We could we could do something. I think that especially with Twitch, I'm trying to present a different format to it that gives people an understanding that there is a buy-in for this. Yeah, the world is fucked. But you're going to run into a trans person and your first instinct is going to be maybe something that I've said. Okay, there's no debating about your humanity. We moved past that. Now I can look at Blair White like a person. For every person, I wouldn't
go that far.
You beat me. Oh my God, you beat me so fast to it. Nah, I hate
it again.
I hate. Oh man. And it's if we're gonna because then I get on another track and then you never know where my
I'm sorry.
I couldn't Don't do that. But it's for me, it's personal because I see the hurt on real people. Mm-hmm. I brought up Josie before. She's been written in a manifesto. She's gotten attacked for it. Her career is skyrocketing in spite of that. Don't worry about it. I got it. That's what I want to bring is don't worry about that. Don't worry about that noise. Don't worry about that chatter. All of that is fake. Half of those are bots. Half of those are trolls. Half of those are that. Anybody who has a real opinion based on what you said, trans rights are human rights, that conversation is already lost. Exploit that. why don't we exploit that? Because there are a lot of narratives out there. There are a lot of stories. There are a lot of people, Riley Gaines, Chaya Raychick, all these people who know they would fold under you. You're going to fold under questioning. I can't do crimes with you. You're going to sell me out immediately. Okay. Why do they have power, and why haven't we done anything to focus our attention towards burying that? Why do they get to share things and get 40,000 likes while we sharing stuff and we can't figure out how to coexist on if AFAB is the correct term for this person and this is the correct term for that person? Either Twitter is psyop, or we really are just not focused on the easier things. We want a perfect utopia inside of a dystopia. Nah, man, make art. As my favorite rapper said, make hip hop when they give you hurdles. Like, you see Kendrick doing the thing, Black culture back up. Okay, now we need like a few people speak here. We got this person in place. Speak at this university. We got this person do a event where, you know, we just came off of that. Kendrick's doing that as we speak. Like, just keep making these motions and have fun with it, because they're taking it to the extreme. Trans people are taking over women's sports. And like, inside of your ads, you can't even decide whether you're talking about girls or all women. You don't watch women's sports. You don't care about these women. You never cared before, and you don't care about the girls now. Like, you don't actually care. What is your point? What is your purpose? That's what I find the most annoying about being a leftist online, is that nobody, a general population, seems to be deer stuck in the headlights. And I'm like, why? You have great people right here.
Is it still a question for David? It's like, David, are you going to answer that?
I think he did,
Was there
right?
a question there?
Was there a question?
There's no question.
Oh God. Because yeah, I really would like ask David a question and then answer it myself. Hi, Matt.
I thought we moved past that 10 minutes ago.
I feel like I'm a little bit out of the loop. This sounds like a great conversation, but I don't know what the jump off of it was. Like, where it's,
okay, I can actually track that because my ADHD.
I heard you bring up.
Okay, so basically I'm wondering, or I came to ask, what drives a lot of people to make the decisions and choices that they do when representing online politics? And from that, we got into like, I understand that like some streamers have communities that are fucking crazy. And I'm wondering why is there an investment in that when there's no core tenet behind it? And it just led to all of those points being made out of my head.
I just quickly say that I think a lot of the people who are big. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, you haven't spoken, Matt. Go.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, I think I don't know if you guys brought this up, but I do think a good portion of it is just, especially on the right, is just engagement farming. Like, it's what brings them views. It's what brings them money. Like, there's not all of them, but there is a good portion of them who, they are right wingers. Like, it's not like they don't believe in like what they're saying completely, but this is a monetization scheme for them more so than anything. And they have to completely capitulate to audience capture. They've developed this audience that expects a certain thing from them. Like, earlier today when I was on the Majority Report, we watched a clip of Tim Pool yelling at Nick Fuentes, like not at Nick Fuentes, but like in person, but like Tim Pool was watching a Nick Fuentes clip or something and yelling about how Nick Fuentes is ruining it. Like, because, he's not really America first because he talks so much about how he hates Israel. Nick Fuentes is a white supremacist. Tim Pool talked about how he agreed with all these America first things. Basically, everything Nick Fuentes agrees with, except for the Israel position that Nick Fuentes has. That's because Nick Fuentes is just an anti-Semite. But I mean, what is Tim Pool's real feelings about Israel? I don't think he really cares. But he's got this sort of audience capture where he has to tread that line of, he has a portion of his audience who does want him to be more like Nick Fuentes when it comes to immigration and things like that. But at the same time, he also has a audience that is more like, mainstream sort of typical Republican who is locked in step with Israel. And then on top of all of that, he has to tread that line between not pissing off YouTube's policies so his channel gets banned. Like, he is super in tune to that, more so than anyone else. Like, it's amazing that we hear that the right are like, these independent right-wing thinkers are bringing stuff that the media, other media outlets couldn't bring to you. They bring you the unfiltered truth of the masses. But when it comes from Tim Pool, he brings you that as long as it doesn't piss off YouTube's policies, because he's very careful about that. Like, he'll have on guests that if they, for example, start talking about killing somebody, he has to cut the stream so he doesn't get banned by YouTube.
Multiple times. That's happened multiple times to him.
You
Where
got
he's had to end the stream
lured.
as they're talking. It's insane.
So it's like, I think Tim Pool's a great example of someone all over the place. You have someone who is a true believer. You have someone who is at the same time also captured by their audience. And then on top of that, someone who still is completely working hard to make sure that this is a business first and foremost. He's going to make money. I mean, he is a little slice of Tim Pool. It represents basically every one of these right-wing influencers.
Goofy behavior. That's what I would call it. Goofy. Like, I got a clip of Tim Pool with the whoopsie. Like,
yeah.
Like, your feelings got hurt. Thank you. I appreciate it. Like, your feelings got hurt. Okay. Why? The whole entire conservative movement in America falls apart under one question. What do you mean by that? You try it one day.
That's actually a good quote.
Like, what do you mean by that? Elaborate.
Well,
Expound
the
on
deep
that.
state is collaborating with Joe Brandon to
no, I heard you said that
gay soy.
But you said that.
I mean, it is
expound on that.
There is again. There are two types though that will answer that question. There's the type that literally will be dumbfounded, that they can't give you an answer because they literally haven't thought it through. And then B, you'll also have a completely another cohort of equal size, I would say, that will be like, well, I can't answer that because you know what I mean when I say that. But I can't say it, front and center. I gotta just hint at it. I gotta.
Okay, let's play the game then. I'm gonna do it with you right now. You can't say that? Why not? I thought we was in a free country. Free speech. Go ahead, rip it.
Right.
Let it go.
That's a great. I mean, yeah. They'll play that though.
Are you afraid of getting banned? Like,
it's the same way, like, now when they want to talk about race, they call someone a DEI candidate. When they want to talk about, LGBTQ issues, it's about saving the children. Well, saving the children from what? Yeah, that's what's they exist. There are two types. There's the person who just really truly doesn't know. They're sort of the follower who just listens to these people and really have never thought it through. They really don't know. And then there is also a very large cohort that knows exactly what they're talking about, but yeah, they're actually too afraid because the woke made it. I'll lose my job because of woke. That type that won't say it straight up because they got to hint at it, because otherwise they don't want to face the consequences that come with it.
Oh, right. You weren't here for that. I brought that up as one of the first things I said. I said, we have officially hit the storm front line. Everybody loves what I have to say. They just hate the word Nazi. That's all. A little blip,
right?
Right. I center myself on thinking, okay, how do we, or as John Oliver says, how do we move forward? How do we solve this? We could go structural, education, better roadways, walkable cities, more interactions, more social, gonna force people together, making a good time. Everybody's singing Kumbaya. That just don't sound realistic. Here's a solution for you. Analyze and inject as the president UBI as a pilot program in New York City. Run it for exactly 2.5 weeks. During those 2.5 weeks, you will get paid on Friday, and Wednesday, a certain amount. I don't have this amount calculated yet. I believe it is $345 to $49 per person who'd be eligible for this. Once you see the economic growth that happens when you jort money into a society, a system, okay, take that example, and instead of running it all the time, how about as the earth is burning, we just start cycling things? Like, I don't know. What if we, instead of hiring 12 construction workers that we beat to death over a year to build a building, how about we have 3 or 4 seasonal cycles of employees? While the employees who are not on cycle are not working, they're receiving those checks. The people who are working get more money and are working. Now everybody's getting the same wealth, and you're building something up. Okay, now apply that across the nation, and boom, you've solved half of your issues already. That's a simple solution.
I think at the core of what you're saying, which I totally agree with, is that everyone at some point or another needs to eat, and the best way for people to be able to do anything in the world, whether they're activists or anything, is to not have to have the financial burdens and stress that most people have. Which is what holds back. Like, how are you supposed to spend time protesting something over the weekends when you're worried about, like, you know, how are you going to afford your bills? And that's why the system in a lot of ways operates the way it does. Like you were saying, why don't we get rid of homelessness? Well, if there is no lower classes, if we don't use automation, for example, to make people's lives easier, but instead just replace jobs, then there's going to be a huge amount of people who at the end of the day don't suffer under that system and don't actually prop a lot of aspects of it up, which unfortunately also really sucks.
And running it all, since we're going backwards, because I like to make things a circle. I think my story beats and whatever have made that pretty clear. But to revolve it all the way back to the beginning, so Matt can even join in, that was my original query on the failure of people to connect empathetically with their governance. Like, you don't have those streams, you don't have those same stresses, you don't have that same place of reference. Therefore, like, oh, I'm afraid of getting canceled. You got $6 million in the bank. You could disappear off the face of the earth tomorrow. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't. And Tim Pool want to sit there and take off the beanie. No, screw that. I'm not even going for criticism. We're going straight into the digs. Take off the beanie. I know you see me. I know you see me because you hate watch one of these 4 dudes up here. Take off the beanie. Don't reply to anything else in here. No claim, no nothing. No leftists go outraged and woke over me. I'm talking directly to you, Pim Tool. Take off the beanie, please. I need to see, oh my God, there was a movie. It was Rush Hour 3. They had tattooed this secret list on the back of this girl's head. I think that's what he got. I think he got something secret under there. Swear, y'all. Yeah. So to even rally the whole conversation back, I actually do want to ask you guys, how do you feel about, oh, this is bad because everybody likes to clip things out of context. Let me rephrase that. Do you feel like this space is in a healthy position?
Dude, when you say the space,
what,
you mean
what space? You mean this?
Like streamers, podcasters, leftist media.
I kind of left this media as not a general whole, but based on, I know you probably have already cultivated your feeds to know who to trust and who is off the, but at the same time, do you think that we are moving at a healthy pace towards having these real conversations, or do you feel like there's still the slide backs every few often or so?
I feel like we're in the weakest point we've been in. The left as a whole, including lefty media. This is the weakest that it's been in a while. At least in the past 10 years, since the rise of the Bernie Sanders sort of left in mainstream politics that came with 2015 and the 2015 lead up to the primaries. I feel like we are, at least in the US, on a number of issues, going backwards a bit in terms of not just the arguments, but also the policies. I think this is a low point right now, obviously. And it was heading in this direction. I would say it's sort of the major turn happened as a result of the pandemic. I think a lot of people lost their minds during the pandemic, and namely, I think Gen X. Again, I don't want to lump a whole generation into this, but it's very clear that as a generation, I really do feel like Gen X handled it the worst because they had to deal with their kids at home.
Matt, can I interrupt you for 1 second?
Yeah, go ahead.
Our audience just increased a little bit, ever so slightly, because we just got a raid from Hasanabi. So say hello, everyone.
Hey!
Oh my God!
We just raided Glance.
So there's 7,000 people watching this now. So hey, everyone, be funny, be entertaining right now. Everyone,
oh my God,
start dancing.
I'm just gonna freeze.
Hi, Hassan! Holy shit!
Everybody plug everything.
Thank you, Hassan.
So just throw this out there. Patreon.com/Matt.
I'm muting everyone else right now before they start dropping the Patreon.
Oh my God.
Thank you so much. Obviously, I don't know if this means much, but everyone return the favor. Go to twitch.tv/Hasanabi. Give a follow back to everyone else who's watching.
Yeah,
I mean,
we love Hassan.
Are you being serious, Lance? Are you being? It's like
the way he interrupted. The way he interrupted.
You were deep in thought. I wouldn't interrupt you unless it was something serious. So
no, but make sure you go follow Hasanabi. It would be like I don't know, like Tom Cruise giving props to some like theater kid, and the theater kid telling the audience, make sure you check out Tom Cruise's latest
next movie.
So
give me a break. Give me a break.
I don't know if you've heard of the indie streamer Hassan.
Maybe he misspoke.
He's doing all right. People are saying Poke Raid. I don't think it was a Poke.
No, that's what they do. That's what they do. That's what they do.
Oh,
they do that. They yeah. I'm also a part of that community. I'm quite aware of how Hasanabi chatters are. They cool. I had a thing about
it's a
that.
Meme. Okay.
Yeah, it's a meme. It's a meme.
Boomer brain.
To even go back to it. Okay, this is the perfect time to say it. Okay, now I know Tim Pool watching this. Take off the beanie, please. Just add one good swipe. Just is it stuck to your head? I got questions. I need you to elaborate. You were at a pool party in a full like cheap suit, and you still had the beanie on. Take it off. 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 But like no, a lot of this space to me, based on what I was very surprised to hear you say that. I was not expecting to hear people say you say it's the weakest. Honestly, I also think
it is. I mean, the left. This is a bad time right now for the left, and obviously, Israel's absolute assault and genocide in Gaza is I think it's this is obviously the least of the worry. The main worry is for the Palestinian people and the people in Gaza and stopping what's going on there. But as a consequence, it's definitely tearing into the left. I mean, look, we might lose a few squad members basically because of Israel. And people can surely have their critiques and criticisms of the various members of the squad, but at the end of the day, they are the most left and most in line with us of any politicians that are there. And quite frankly, they need our critical support until we can float candidates that can surpass them, which I don't see happening. I mean, they're pretty good on like 99% of the issues. It's a rough time right now. And as I was saying before, like, on a number of issues, even before all this, like, we were moving, like, it's the pandemic. Like, we've been falling back on, like, all of a sudden this new reinvigorated attack on trans people and then the LGBTQ community as a whole. All of a sudden, it's okay to just use terms like DEI hires to basically say, oh, you hired a black person. Like, this is absurd. Like, we are going absolutely backwards in these past couple of years. And I really do think a large portion of it is because people lost their minds during the pandemic. They really did. And as I was saying before, I wanted to get that whole thought out. I do think a large portion of this, and we saw this during the 2020 election and in the subsequent elections after, Gen X, all of a sudden, again, not all Gen Xers, but as a whole, Gen X had a very sudden rightward turn that, they went hard right. I would say they might even be more right wing than the boomers now. If I recall, there was a breakdown of how people voted for Trump in 2020. And I think Trump got more of the Gen X vote than even the boomers, because boomers, at the very least, there's a cohort of boomers who are like disgusted by Trump just because of how he acts. But like Gen X lost their mind during the pandemic. Their kids had to stay home with them, and they needed their kids in school, and it really affected them.
I know I asked this question out loud to everyone. I'm so sorry to interrupt you for something not as important as a Hasanabi raid. But I stress to you that like I have probably about 1,000 segments online on just YouTube, just one of my 7 channels alone. And one of those was like a 6-week experiment into diving into every piece of the soul of a person surviving through the pandemic. I hate to drop the mood of this down, but like I really want to give you an answer. And it's not because I also like, it's not because I'm in a better position to like say this than you, but like, remember what I asked you earlier about feeling pride in your son? Like, I don't got kids, I got cats. So like I can focus on this a little bit more.
Counts.
I have a dog. I consider him a son. He's my first son.
Yeah,
I love him. Yeah. I love him to death. Yeah.
Okay, I got 3 daughters and 1 son that lives with my dad. Okay. That sounds worse. Oh God.
Yeah.
I did a 6-week deep dive into every facet of how life has changed for a person through COVID. I called it the Living with COVID series. And one of those was the specific relationship between you and your emotions. You said that Gen X took a hard right turn. I can tell you why. I don't need facts and figures. I can tell you because I watched it. I was teaching at that time. So I'm connected with all the teachers. So I'm watching the teachers get assaulted. I'm watching the education department get assaulted, which means the finance sector automatically gets hit next. I have friends in finance telling me about this, and the main reason why is because everyone's relationships with their emotions were all forced into, you can see me at all times or we are not hanging out. I can't get distance from people. I can't break apart from anything. Everybody is on the internet. That's the only place I'm seeing and having conversations with the majority of people. And I hate to say this, to do it this way, but oh boy, did a lot of people not realize not only are they shitty people inside, but they got a lot of shitty people around them. And it's not shitty because they're shitty people. It's shitty because we never had to explore those avenues. You got work 6 days a week. I got work 5 days a week. We convene on the one Sunday where we both don't have work. By that time, that type of relationship you develop is based on trying to catch up for lost time. Now everybody's watching your bro, answer my Discord invite. Bro, we're on Fortnite. Bro, the demand that you felt when people called you on your cell phone and made you say, oh man, I don't feel like picking that up. That is every waking second of your life. And then do you know what we did to really solidify why they turned right so hard? We told them as a government, as a people, suck it up, shut the fuck up. Don't take the vaccine, but take the vaccine, but also ivermectin, but also read this whatever, and then also listen to Joe Rogan, but at the same time also listen to Dr. Fauci. Well, at the same time, Fauci's a killer. Well, at the same, all my friends don't know what the fuck that's about. I'm waiting for my Trump stimmy. All of these factors of being locked into not understanding how you can develop your emotions within this space and then releasing that back out into the wild, leftists are insufferable. Why do you care that the world is burning? Bro, we out to Florida right now. You can sit there with your friends and argue about, oh, you're leftist circle jerk, and you can argue about how the world sucks. I'm going to chill with the conservatives because they're not worried about that. Oh, but they are. We just spent an hour and a half talking about Project 2025. That disconnect. That pandemic split where people can appear to be doing one thing and they'll slyly say, yo, here's $50, go throw a bottle at that girl. This slow build all the way up forced a lot of us Gen Xers to say, oh shit, okay, these people are sitting here complaining. The right's over there giving me content. The right's over there telling me to be a man. The right's over there saying we don't got to worry about that. We need to restore ourselves. Purpose. There's your answer. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I forgot the one detail that started that whole thought. Why I even went through that. I have lost 184 people over the course of the pandemic, either through COVID or through other means. So, like, loss is something that I deal with and try to empathize from the beginning point on anything. That's why I did the Living with COVID series.
I think I think you were correct, but that's a specific cohort that I'm not talking about. Like there's not an overlap. There's not an overlap with those people and the people who were demanding that teachers put their life on the line during the pandemic and open up the schools so they could get the kids around.
Okay, I understand.
That's not the people who were during the pandemic in their like mid 40s to like late 50s who were angry that their minimum wage labor workers weren't getting to the restaurants to open the restaurants. Those aren't the people who were holding the signs demanding that the barbershops open so they could get a haircut. Like, they were all of a very, not all, but a good portion of them were of a very certain age group. And it was a very selfish position that these people had. And again, there are obviously Gen Xers who don't feel this way, but it was undoubtedly of a certain block of age group. You want to just say it was right winger or right leaning or maybe apolitical Gen Xers who were, just suddenly turned right wing onto right wing politics because of this. That makes sense. Okay. But like there was a selfishness that came out of certain people that I was even surprised about because, it did seem like for those first few weeks of the pandemic, I was shocked in the opposite way. At least in New York City, the first few weeks of the pandemic, it was like, wow, people are actually going to try to do this. They're actually going to try to look out for each other. What the fuck? But then that ended really quick after like a few weeks of people losing their mind.
In Vancouver, it was like zombie land. Like immediately I went into a supermarket and everyone's like, like hiding behind the corners.
It was pretty empty
from each other
around
and stuff.
These parts. The streets were pretty empty in New York for a while. Yeah. I mean,
I keep forgetting. Yeah, we're both from New York. Yeah, right. We're both in New York City.
If you're one of those people who were whining before there was a vaccine that you had to wear a fucking mask while grocery shopping because the fucking kid working the vegetable aisle didn't want to go bring bring COVID home and get his, kill his grandma, then like, what the fuck was wrong with you? I'm sorry. That's just like such a selfish thing to be in that.
Okay. Oh, I agree. The asks were so low. It was like, can you wash your hands? Can you social?
Yeah,
it's like wash your hands. We have to learn how to wash our hands.
Like we don't know what's going on. Let's do this basic thing.
But there is an entire
we're all dealing with this.
There's an entire group of people who became radicalized from this moment and suddenly got involved with politics. And I'm not saying they're like now, the senators and congressmen, but no, they are the people supporting this new right that has come, just basically risen up over the past, half a decade.
I was going to say on top of that, okay, I didn't misunderstand. I see what specifically you're going for. Okay. I really don't have an answer for that because yet again, this is going back to before you were here. Like I never got a chance to be racist because I'm New York City, literally. Like everybody, my homeboy. I don't understand what y'all talking about, like with all that weird shit. Anyway, I was gonna say, like, what's funny about that is that goes into like that other part of it that we were talking about earlier. People's natures got revealed. Like I took away your barbershops and you were ready to kill somebody. Whoa,
right.
Maybe we need to
do that over masks. I was like a cloth, a piece of fabric in front of your face that could prevent grandma from dying. Like, really? That's too much.
But Tim Pool, masks don't work. Like, yes, you don't leave that compound, bro. Like, you don't need masks. Like,
I mean, Tim Pool doesn't need a haircut, so he had one check right off the bat.
Nope, you brought it up again. I gotta ask one more time because I know you hate watching Take Off the Beanie. Please, I just need to know. Like,
I don't think I don't think Tim Pool gives a fuck about any of this. He does. He logs on for a fucking paycheck and logs off. That's why he's so concerned about the YouTube fucking algorithm and how that all works. Like, he doesn't fucking care. he's not. He's too busy skateboarding. He's good.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I just want people who care. Like, right wingers, like, at least care, you know, throw some sauce into it, throw some saute on the thing. You keep handing me this bland ass steak every time talking about trans people are coming for your kids. Like, you couldn't put no dazzle on that. You couldn't say like a specific.
That's why I hate the N-word Karen, who's like all famous right now. That woman who has no discernible talent. There, at least Riley Gaines, you can say that she's a failed athlete. She's a failed swimmer. Blah blah blah. If were it not for trans people, you could have had 4th place. You're not on the podium.
Right?
But at least
do something.
You were doing something. Yeah. This is someone who's famous for the N-word. That's all she's done. She's doing the whole conservative circuit.
Oh, the trad wife lady.
Yeah, the trad wife person who's now like she's going on the Blaze. She's going to be doing Alex Stein show.
Although,
so
did you see the Cabernacles video about her? I did not know this second element of this because I was also like, how is it that you can just say a slur and become a right wing superstar? But so she kind of ended
well, Mike, let me present you the entire history of the right.
I know. It's
that's every single one of them.
But so the problem is that like now they're transvestigating her.
Yes.
And
I didn't know that.
They also are accusing her of being a Jewish psyop.
I saw that.
And she's dating a black man.
Yep.
Yeah, apparently she's talking about how whites need to outbreed everybody else, and then she's a single mom with a child who is not white, not 100% white. So that to them is like, oh my god, she's a psyop, she's a traitor. So I don't know, you know.
Mike, I didn't know you felt that way. I didn't realize that was your opinion on this.
Mike, did you see the same thing happening to, I think, Jake Shields? Is that the name of that motherfucker?
Jake Shields.
Massive
he's basically a Nazi.
But he's got Nazis in his audience replying to him, being like, I just found out you're not white, bro. What the fuck? I thought you were racially pure. And then he's like, I've never said that I was 100% white. I've always said that like I'm a little mixed, but I'm mostly white. And they're like, not white enough, you know, like in the replies. Okay. So I was like, well, the leopards are feasting. They're feasting.
Like,
you know,
it's a little worse than that. With what this, like, I remember him saying it specifically. I'm 98% white. I'm like 1% Japanese, and I'm 1% something else. But
I think indigenous. Yeah.
And then one of the replies, he was like, I'm not fully white, bro. I just think like white people should rule everything. And I was
God.
What? Over you?
That's what I'm saying. Like, put some sauce on it. Like dog, it can't be that easy for me to trip you up in a few tweets and then like you giving away your whole game plan. Come on.
Yeah, speaking of tripping people up, there was another viral TikTok video of one of the Moms for Liberty people at a school board meeting, and one of the teachers was just like, hey, can you define woke? And the same thing happened that happened to Bethany Mandel and Shia Rychick. It's like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. She's like, well, it's derived from Marxism. And she just goes around in circles. And it's just like so there's really is something to what Paradigm is saying, where when you try to really press them on their beliefs, they just like, it dismantles immediately. You don't even have to try. You just pull the string a little bit and the whole fucking thing unravels because they don't really have any beliefs. It's just kind of like a grievance politics that they have. You know, they feel like they're the victim. There's no like underlying ideology or philosophy that's driving their views. So when you ask them, hey, like, what do you mean by this? It's like, they don't want to just say woke mean bad. So they try to like intellectualize it. Right. So, you know, it's so funny to me.
And that's what I mean by intellectualism.
But there's also it's also partly what I was mentioning before though. Listen, they can they define woke in a palatable way for normal people? No. Can they define woke in the way they actually mean it though? I'm guessing yeah. I mean, they know. They know what they mean when they say woke.
Oh yeah,
they know what they mean.
It's a slur essentially. Yeah, it's usually a slur. Yeah. Yeah, but like that to Mike's clip, if you haven't seen it, Matt, she's in a classroom where a student asks her that, and her response is, "Wokeness is well, it's the end of freedom, and we love freedom," and like that. It's like, do you not even know what it means for your own purposes, like your reappropriation of the word? You should know that, or the woman, like you were mentioning the woman who wrote the book on wokeness who couldn't define it to Brianna Joy Gray, right? That was Bethany Mendel. Yeah. Ridiculous.
Like, you wrote the book on it. You have a whole chapter on it.
You wrote the anti-woke book.
How do you do that? Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I thought y'all right wingers believed in the words in the book. I thought that's what the whole thing was about, Oh man. And that's what I mean. Like, I feel like we can have fun with that. Because like a lot of people are dumb. It's just raw.
Yeah.
Just face first into the wall. And I'm like, I feel like we could be smarter. We cannot, and that's why now that I think about it, actually I'm gonna change my answer. I agree with you, Matt. We are the weakest we've been. How are we we wonder how the Republicans wonder how the old decrepit Biden was able to beat Trump. And it's probably going to beat him a second time. How the hell did that skeleton walk across the finish line? And I'm still sitting here wondering.
Go ahead.
I forgot. I had the words in my head.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's the first time anybody stopped me today. So good job.
I was going to jump off on what you said because I thought you had your complete thought there. It's the first time that like in a while, in a long time, where there's not something going our way, really. Do you know what I mean? Like even during the Iraq war and the war in Afghanistan, that really horrible post 9/11 period, it was all happening under a Republican. So the hopes to look forward to was the anti-war movement and getting in someone who would be more progressive, right? And then that happened. But then even during the Obama years, there was movement on LGBTQ rights, on a number of issues. Policy was headed in the correct direction, to the point where 2015 comes along, and there is, for the first time in modern politics, a real for the U.S. at least, in terms of our political sphere, we had a real progressive candidate running that actually built a progressive movement. And, we've had wins and losses, and we've lost on things, but there's always been something in the background happening where, like, okay, we might have lost on this policy position, but we're making headway here. I don't know what that is right now in terms of the thing to be optimistic about. Like, Medicare for all is not even on the tongues of people anymore.
We can't even get a fucking public option that Biden ran on.
Yeah. The Supreme Court is gone, and the Democrats don't want to do anything too drastic to save it. We have a Democratic president, so it's not like we can hope to vote out the Republican and get the Democrats in and look forward to that. We are fighting against the establishment Democrats on, to me, a clear-cut morality issue in terms of truly horrific thing happening to innocent Palestinians in Gaza, to the point where we might lose some of our only progressives elected to office. I guess one thing is the labor movement is growing and is strengthening, but in the big picture, that the gains they are making seem so small. Especially when all it's going to take is for the Supreme Court to say the NLRB no longer has any real power in this country, and there goes that too. We are in a really low place right now. We're falling backwards on LGBTQ rights. We are falling backwards on race issues. People don't care anymore. You can even see it in pop culture. It's ridiculous. We are 100%. Maybe this is how it ebbs and flows, and you have to go back another 20, 30 years and see that this is what happened then, and then this happened. But this is, for at least my lifetime, the first time I could think of where everything is either stagnant or moving backwards. We are in a bad place right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it never used to be the case that you would have like right wingers and Republicans comfortable with just openly saying that they wouldn't fly a plane if the pilot was black. Like they wouldn't just say that out loud. Like that's the thing that racists say behind closed doors at the dinner table, but they wouldn't say it out loud. Now that's a talking point. That's not just a Charlie Kirk or a Nick Fuentes thing. That's like a lot of right wingers like, hey, no, it's not racist. It's DEI, and I just want to make sure the most qualified people possible are the ones flying the planes. That's what I care about at the end of the day. It's like this is undeniably an incredibly racist statement, but it's just now it's normalized. Now the right just runs with it,
and aside from that, the normalization of just open racism. I mean, Elon Musk brought that back. Like there was a tweet that Juniper shared from Andrew Tate where he just straight up says racial slur, like just
you don't mean the Andrew Tate tweet. You're actually referring to the Andrew Tate anthology because he has not stopped. He has not stopped. Like he literally just a few minutes ago said, "No broke boys, verified N-words only." And I'm staring at that and I'm like, damn, for some reason I can just feel like if I covered this on stream, I'd get some type of blowback. And I did. I literally got trolls in the chat, like after so long of not having it.
It's so normalized. Like, and part of that is Elon Musk's fault for sure, because he turned Twitter into Stormfront and people just say slurs all the time. You have Melanie Mack, the Christian streamer. She has like a picture of her with a cross and then like a little speech bubble for saying the F word or the F slur. I'm like, wow, that's actually pretty on brand. But it's just, that's like, I think, a microcosm, like a bigger thing that's happening in society where we're just kind of like circling the drain and devolving. And it's just so, it feels like we're in free fall and just like things are so bad. It's really fucked up.
So I can provide a little bit of hopium because, again, teacher, I have seen a lot of the New York City graduating classes over the last couple of years. I will tell you this much. If like everybody 29 and older just suddenly disappeared, the kids would be all right. There is a growing sentiment that the only reason things are like fucked up right now is because all of us literally left them this world. And when I say a growing sentiment, I mean, I'm talking classroom chats. I'm talking board meetings. I'm talking across the country. Like, these are the things that people don't make go viral. You have the Moms for Liberty people, the stage protesters. A lot of stuff was astroturfed and like grew sentience on its own from that. One things that I've noticed more often than not is that the world that they live in right now, these younger kids, as much as we see the growth towards people like Kai Cenat, Gideon, the type of behavior Sneeko presents, I'm not even going to be afraid to say his name, the type of feelings that Nick Fuentes does with all of his movements, the attachment between Sneeko, the rest of the streaming community like Aiden Ross and Destiny, like this fresh and fit. Like this gathering is actually being ignored. Everything's becoming filler to them because nothing is moving forward. Want to ban TikTok, that process is going to take a couple years, even if that goes past and gets all the way through. It's going to take a few years for that breakdown to happen, depending on how they move. People say it can happen in a few months. I think it's still going to take about a year or two. The younger generation has a pulse on saying that if you're going to leave this world fucked up, we're not going to participate in it. And as these older people die, I believe that we will hit a pressure point where enough of them will say, this shit is stupid. I remember the Black Lives Matter protests, and I remember standing in front of a student I didn't even know was there. Just happened to be a female that was one of my students, 19, just in college, started talking to me for 5 minutes about how, because of you, like I started analyzing things through different lenses and understanding empathy and why people are mad and angry. And that's why I'm out here, because I feel like a voice is a voice that matters. And while you're going through it all, I'm thinking to myself, the wondrous thing about this is that I'm still going to not even be your teacher, but I'm going to put myself in front of you so the police with the rubber bullets don't shoot you and hurt you, because I know that's going through you. That level of commitment at such a young age, just being based on exposure to the radical idea that things happen to be connected in more ways than we think, that is a growing and prevailing sentiment. And I want y'all to hear that. Like, I really mean it from the bottom of my heart. I could name off, and that's why it's amazing that I read the entire Project 2025 mandate of America.
The fact that you read it and still have hopium, let alone brain cells, is actually impressive.
Let's just stop for a second and acknowledge that the hope is that everybody over 29 evaporates into thin air.
Right. We got to remember the premise. I'm glad you remember the premise.
Now who hates old people,
Not sure how realistic this hope is, but thank you for offering it.
It doesn't have to be 29. What are you talking about?
It's late. I need to go to bed.
Low.
So
what
we gotta. What?
Yeah, we should probably switch over to super chats.
Yeah.
Before we do, of course, Paradigm, you're free to stay as long as you want to. We'll transition to questions and comments and super chats. But for anyone who's ducking out now, once again, please tell everybody where to find you.
Ladies and gentlemen, they call me, matter of fact, this is the perfect time for this. Ladies and gentlemen, they call me the Paradigm Shift, but they also call me the Tribal Chief of Twitch. I do politics, I do poetry, I do art. I got 2 diss tracks on your man Destiny out there. Go bump them right now. Go bump them. Meet the Bonnells and Mr. Divorcelli. Go find out your truths. I like to do fun stuff. I like to keep everything varied. I want you to learn. I want you to feel. I want you to grow. I'm not one of the motherfuckers that sit there and say, thank you for having me. I never would be here if it wasn't. Nah, it's real, genuine connections. I don't got, you can see I got anime and stuff in the back.
Yeah, I was going to say, before you go, you need to tell us what manga you have back there, too. I'm curious.
Oh, man. We've got, what is that? Mixed vegetables? Mixed vegetables, Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, Spy X Family, Demon Slayer, D Gray Man. I know there's one that Kaiju number 8, and we got a few others.
Nice. Demon Slayer, that's one of my favorites. I haven't read the manga, but I like the anime. Sorry.
It's okay. If you want to acknowledge your tribal chief, the easiest way to do that is to go to twitch.tv/the_paradigm_shift. I'm trying to make this a career. I'm trying to do something better for the youth. I'm trying to build a world where I can look at my son and I'm backpedaling, trying to teach him how to walk again. Saying to them, look at what your father used to do. I spoke the same thing I spoke in 2011 to 2019. I've been on this internet for 14 years. I started when I was 14. Yeah, no, oh my God, it's 16 years. I've been on the internet for a long time. Twitch.tv/the_paradigm_shift, Twitter/Marquise Paradigm. And before we move forward, I just need one thing from y'all. Now, I'm not sure how deep you are into your wrestling lore, so if this doesn't come off the right way, then I do.
That's a massive wrestling fan.
I was already
Matt's eyes
say,
just opened up.
I'm only into luchadors. I love luchadors. All right, I watch my luchadors.
He's cutting a promo. He's cutting a promo just to promote himself. I mean, acknowledge him. He already dropped the tribal chief references.
Right. That's what I need from y'all. Can I get a quick I acknowledge you from y'all? Can I get a quick
I acknowledge tribal chief.
I acknowledge you.
I acknowledge you.
That's all I need.
I don't follow wrestling, so I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I have no idea what I just committed to, but I
do you have your very own wise man right off camera? We just can't see him.
I actually do have a wise man on the internet. My man Globus the Elder. AI News, go to Globus the Elder. Yes, sir. We'll talk about that
if
later.
you wanted us to witness you and Valhalla and stuff. I know Mad Max references, but I don't know.
We don't get you there, Lance. This ain't the last time we'll see you. You know where I'm at.
All right.
All right, let's go to them super chats. Thank you guys for having me. I'd like to stay just for a little bit just to see what people are asking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, the first one's about Dino Nuggets.
Dino Nuggets.
Lawn Gnomes says,
all right, man. Thanks for sticking around. I'm assuming you're out of here after seeing this first super chat. Thanks.
Dino Nuggets deliciously extinct. So I think this comes up on Twitter today. I mentioned how for some reason I've been seeing Dino Nuggets everywhere, and I haven't heard about Dino Nuggets for like 10 years, and I'm seeing Dino Nuggets memes, tweets, posts, and I looked it up on Google Trends, and apparently for whatever reason, since the beginning, June 7th, there's been like an increased search in Dino Nuggets. I don't know why.
What?
But
I'm not plugged in enough.
I have no idea what's going on, but I've been seeing a lot of Dino Nuggets. So
interesting.
There we go.
Eagle Left with a super chat. Thanks, Eagle Left. Hey, Matt, could you please talk to Leftist Mafia so I can come on and talk about Balochistan and also correct some things Aaron said about Pakistan? Yes, one of my listeners has his own butting heads thing with some of the things Aaron said. So yeah, we'll figure this out. Email me and I'll talk with them and we'll figure out a slot to get you in as a guest. This is for me. The Emo Dragon with a super chat. Dino Nuggies are the best. You can't fool me. See, I have no idea what this is about. I don't really know.
You know what's funny?
Oops, accidentally sent my super chat about Dino Nuggies being the best to Bender. So there you go.
I actually know that person in real life. That's so funny.
You know Emo Dragon?
Yeah.
Do you really?
I'm around. I'm around.
We love Emo Dragon.
Oh, say that. Yeah. Super. Yeah, I figured. Yeah.
Awesome.
Hey, but yeah, things like that.
That's awesome. Dave Kahlo, thank you so much for the $10. Quick question, Mike. Do you think that Biden's mental fitness is being questioned and maybe an election divider? I've heard national correspondent Matt Galk. Okay. Halfway in, I'm like, hang on, this sounds really familiar. So Dave is referencing the Sinclair clip that I talked about on my Twitch stream. I uploaded the clip where all the Sinclair stations across the country all had to say the same exact thing. And on the stream, I memorized it by the time I watched a bunch of it, and I was able to repeat it. And it was funny because at the end, they'd each say, national correspondent Matt Galka has more. And they'd each say it in the same exact way. And he says this could be an election decider. It was so funny. So it's a bit of an inside joke.
Pull it up. Play it.
It's very long. It's very long.
Yeah, I saw that. They don't play it all at the same time. Like they should have edited the video where they overlap them all like others have, but they play one back to back to back to back to back, and it's like 5 minutes of just like the exact same intro to a segment.
Yeah,
it's like absurd.
It was so insane to see it. But yeah, I had it memorized. I forgot it now. But then as I was reading through Dave's super chat, I'm like, hang on a second. This is like starting to come back to me. What is he talking about? I'm like, okay.
Oh,
the Matt Galka.
That whole thing is what they said, I guess, right? That whole Biden's mental fitness is being questioned and maybe an election divider. That's from there. That's okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's let me see if I can recite it back. The Wall Street Journal has a new report that's calling into question the mental fitness of President Biden. National correspondent Matt Galka says this could be an election decider. And then they cut away to whatever propaganda they say to air, I'm assuming. So if Matt Galka says it, I'm listening.
Matt Galka has more.
Many people are saying.
Many people are saying.
Kuya Damon or Demon 499 super chat. Thank you. Says SMT5 Vengeance on PS5 runs so well. Yes, it does. Currently stuck at Hydra Boss at Tokyo Tower. Any tips? Also love your stream with Mike and Cav. Please do more episodes. I'm like 20 hours in now, so I forget what that boss's weaknesses are. You just got to figure out what his weaknesses are. There's an item that you can use to show the weaknesses of the enemy you're against. That'll help. And then just SMT is all about like designing your party around what you're up against. So you got to find what the weaknesses are of that boss and figure out, who best to put in your party to defeat that. And also do a lot of like demon fusioning and essence. I think it's called fusion as well. But like moving the different abilities around in your party to different party members. And I mean, you could also look online, but like I'm not a walkthrough specialist, so you could find some help online, I'm sure. But it's once you figure out how that game operates, I fucking love Shin Megami Tensei. It is so fucking good.
David, pull the game up on the screen and walk us through it. Let's do it right.
I'll see if I have a save before that.
Oh, real quick, some people asking. By the way, we should quickly address. Rebecca's not here this week because sorry, she's a little under the weather right now. She's gonna be back next week. That's the reason.
Yeah, she was gonna come, but she's not feeling good. We both had the thought at the same time. I think from that comment land. So I'm like, yeah, we need to tell people Rebecca's okay. She's just not feeling.
I mean, that's what they're telling you, but in reality, I cut a deal with the devil. and I had to trade a life for a life, and to come back, I needed to give hers. So I'm sorry, Rebecca. That's why I'm.
Oh, I thought you were
here.
going to say Noam Chomsky. I was like, yeah, that did happen.
It did not happen. Nothing happened to Noam Chomsky. It was not. Nothing happened to him.
You know what happened that day is I, at the start of the day, was like, okay, there's 2 obituaries, both in Jacobin and the New Republic. There's no way in fucking hell they would publish these unless it was confirmed that he was dead. I was saying that to my audience live as it was going on, and then as time went on, they both just suddenly, one got deleted, the New Republic, and Jacobin changes the title. They're just like, instead of remembering Noam Chomsky, it was like celebrating Noam Chomsky, and kept it up. And I was like, this is so fucked. This looks so bad.
Yeah, that sounds like an obituary.
All I saw was
celebration of life. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
all I saw was one single tweet that started the whole thing from some random account, and everyone was quote tweeting the same tweet. And I was like, is this really what everybody's running off of? Like, about Noam Chomsky? I saw a tweet too that was really funny, where it was like, rest in peace, Noam Chomsky. You taught us to question the media, and now we all believe you're dead because of a single unsourced tweet.
That really is perfect.
Yeah,
and it'd be their breakout tweet too, and that was it eats me up alive. Like,
that was the viral one.
Is there someone else?
Are we
probably gonna?
Probably from me. Hold on. Yeah, it's from a narrator with a super chat. The Democratic Party is the conservative party. The Republican Party is the regressive party. The left is dead. Well, thank you, narrator, for that optimistic take.
The left is dead? I'm standing right here. What are you talking about? I'm sitting right here.
Tokyo Hans with 500 yen. Wonderful shirt. When are we getting LM ones? Well, thank you. Some more news. Check it out. YouTube channel. Love them. Not sponsored. Just a fan. We'll do Leftist Mafia merch eventually. Lance is wearing a Leftist Mafia shirt, which looks amazing. We're all just lazy. Like, we don't have time. We have our own shows, and like coordinating that would take a lot of effort. And yeah, like, I've had the thought before. Like, I've sent us DMs like, hey, we should do shirts. I'm just like, haven't revisited.
We'll get to it. We'll get there one day.
Yeah, it'll happen at some point.
I would like to add just a quick note on that some more news thing. You might notice, I think around in the middle of 2023, I was trying to like tweet at Cody, because I do this thing on my stream where I hear a speech or whatever, and I'll add a beat on it, and it just matches up perfectly. And we had a string of those with his content, and he started retweeting. Yeah, he started retweeting our stuff, and then like I screamed when he shaved his beard, and he retweeted that and shared me and followed me on TikTok.
Oh, that's so cool.
Regardless of that, I only bring that up to say you might hear, or during those episodes, there was a string where he kept mentioning a paradigm shift. Like, he kept mentioning it over and over and over again. And every time I would post my reaction, and he'd like smile about it. And I was like, okay, so you're doing a little thing for me there. I appreciate it. So it's always a good shout out to my man Cody. Always a shout out to my man Cody.
I love that.
Kowalski, thank you for the super chat. Says, David, please ask your king to have part of the British nuclear arms station in Canada to deter the U.S. if and when the 2025 plan goes into effect. Just send a letter. All right, I will contact the king and ensure that he is aware.
Mike Thompson with a super chat. Shopping for wedding rings. Found a perfect set on Etsy. Ships from Israel. Wearing a Palestine bracelet. Thoughts? Wait, what do you mean wearing a Palestine bracelet? Do you guys get that? I'm at a loss here.
I think they do have like you could get like a kafia bracelet. I don't know if they sell them from any Palestinian sellers though. But
Ships
I've seen
from Israel. What do you mean? I'm not gonna tell people what to buy, but there's plenty of products out there that can scratch your itch for wedding rings.
Listen, I can't recommend enough this $11 wedding band that has lasted since 2017. Haven't replaced it. $11. It's a steal.
That's the way to do it.
Stainless steel, but $11. I think I got it from Amazon, so not the best seller, but it works.
What Mike isn't sharing is that it actually came from the occupied Golden Heights.
That's true.
Have you guys seen that comedian segment where he's doing crowd work and the guy says that he's a war crimes investigator?
Oh yeah.
I posted it the other
It was
day.
hilarious.
Great crowd work. Great crowd work.
Hilarious. The call is coming from inside the house.
That was so good. Sam, thank you so much for the members super chat. Nice to see you, Sam. Hey everyone, thoughts on what Nick Merck said about trans people? Also support Jamal Bowman. Yes, absolutely. The election is on Tuesday. Very important. I didn't see specifically what he said about trans people. Oh no. So I didn't watch the clip.
Did you watch? He's basically playing Eldering, and at one point someone's like, "Oh, the transphobe playing the trans video game," and then he's like, "Oh, trans people aren't real; they don't exist. That's all make believe. I'll make it easy for you. Man, penis, woman, vagina. There you go." And I was like, "If they don't exist, why are you so scared of them? Like, why do they make you so angry if they're not real?
Stupid.
Right? At the end of the day."
What's my thoughts? Because I could answer the super chatter too. I got the skills. Hey, Nick Merckx, your company and some of the people that you work on got weird cases. Focus on that first. That's my thoughts on that.
True. A lot of cryptocurrency scams in that clan.
Also, who is he to talk about trans people and imaginary whatever? They don't. He goes by a fake name. That's not his name. His name's not Nick Merckx. he wants people to address him as Nick Merckx.
Nick Merckx of the FaZe clan.
Dog.
But don't you dare have pronouns that aren't he or she.
Bio, like, oh man,
how dare you have pronouns?
like we all live by usernames, and you're pretending that this just isn't moving to IRL. Like what?
Yeah, he's too old to have that immature, delusional of a take. But some people never grow up.
Tokyo Hans gifted Matt Bender 5 memberships.
It is. Thank you, Tokyo Hans, for the 5 memberships. I will say it is very clear that there's a large portion of these gaming influencers who are absolutely stunted maturity-wise. Like they are absolutely.
Oh my God.
It is. These guys are like 30,
you seen Asmongold's house?
35.
Oh,
they are
his house?
absolutely.
Like,
unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, he has literal mice and cockroaches.
I don't know. I fail to understand why that guy has any people that want to watch him.
Right.
I am going to repeat this one more time. This is what I mean. Is that when you talk about this space, when you talk about the burgeoning existence of streamers, these are our representatives, whether they want to be or not. The same way people shouting Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion making music and kids popping ass to it. Okay, that's
they have
one
talent.
thing.
That's different than Azuma, whatever the fuck his name is. Like,
we're not even
like
going to drop.
Not even interesting in any sense.
We're not even going to drop down into the art because we railed on that earlier. I'll spend an hour talking about that. But no creativity, no drive, no discipline other than I play a game and people like me, so my opinions matter. No, you're not entitled to your opinion, and I'm sorry that you think so. But we moved way past that a long time ago. You got to catch up with the times. Oh, it's just my belief. Why are people attacking me over my opinion? Hey, we're all on the internet. We just came through a pandemic. Your opinion is shit. And the fact that you keep going back to that makes you a shit person. That's it. That's just it. Deal with it. Swallow, take the L, log off for a day, and dip.
I just don't understand how you have such a big platform and you can't even form your own thoughts on like the games that you play. Like you stream the games, I'm assuming, right? What else do you do? But then you like go and you watch somebody else's review and react to it. Like just make your own. I genuinely don't get the fucking appeal to it. Like it's so bizarre to me. And the stinkiness and the gross
You
house.
can smell them through the fucking screen.
Yeah, like what is wrong with you? Like, oh my God.
Matt?
Oh, it's for me. Tokyo Hans.
I need like a sound to like get your attention.
Jesus died and came back in 3 days. Matt did in 30 minutes while still getting super chats. Not even Jesus got super chats.
Gang, the bag is real.
Yeah, I am the modern Jesus. Thank you. I appreciate it.
It took Chomsky 2 hours. Took you just like 30 minutes. Hell yeah.
Andrew S with the membership super chat, member for 11 months. Ooh, coming up upon that a whole year, Andrew S. Thank you. Let Paradigm know that he got a new subscriber. There you go, Paradigm.
Paradigm, did you know you got a new subscriber?
I do now.
Daniel R with a super chat. Candace Owens voice. Well, I hope you're not expecting me to pull it off. where my stable lefties at?
It's one of the sound bites that R.M. Brown uses all the time. Where my stable girlies at? Like,
Wait, she said that?
Yeah, she did.
There's a lot of weird shit they say.
Yeah, there's a lot of sound bites.
Wanda M with a super chat. Maryland Gov pardoned more than 100. Was that a flat line?
I'm going to be using that sound now to get your attention, Bender. When clearly it is your chat and you have not noticed, we'll be doing the beep.
Someone die on stream? That's what I thought. It sounds like a flat line. Wanda M. Maryland governor pardoned more than 175,000 low-level convictions for marijuana this week. Baltimore Port has reopened. He's on a roll. Nice. Perfect. There you go. There's something to be optimistic about. The Synapsis with a membership super chat, member for 11 months, coming on that 1 year too. Thanks, Synapsis. Great Mashable article this week, Matt. Oh, thank you. Which one? I'm going to guess the Elon Musk one. Yes. There was a new document that came out because basically X aka Twitter, has applied for financial licenses so they could be a financial services company, because Elon Musk actually thinks people are going to store money on Twitter like a bank account. But as part of applying for those licenses, they had to give internal company information that has not been made public since Elon took the company private in October 2022. And Twitter in the first quarter, the first half, of 2023, their revenue was down 40%, billions of dollars lost. And they, in terms of profit, they were like negative, like 500 million or something like that. They're doing bad. So there you go. And this is confirmed now. It's not.
Yeah.
This is not speculation. This is confirmed documents from the company. Maybe I misrepresented the numbers or something, but it's somewhere in that ballpark.
I'm going to tell you right now.
I thought.
Not only did you not get that wrong, but I had tried to, I guess, break this story when I found out a certain detail about who holds the real levers of power in Twitter's exec world. And you want a news scoop? Because I'm going, like, if my sky is going to turn orange, I'm not holding back on anything that I know. Elon has 12 kids, and 2 of them are by people who are in government. And just make the link from there.
Wait, what?
Yeah. You should go look up Elon Musk's partners. That's what you should do tomorrow.
The only ones I know of is that he's impregnated a whole bunch of his employees and his subordinates, and that seems to be his thing. He's big into
there's more. It's not hard to find this information out in the circles that I'm in, because, and I really mean this when I said it earlier, people fold under questioning. People post a lot. Like, Reddit is vast and people have grievances. And I'm going to sadly end this because we do got to go to sleep. We've been up all day. First, I appreciate this a lot. Thank you guys for giving me this space. I know that this is an important and a serious platform, but I think we had a nice time, and I appreciate y'all for rocking with me and my ADHD brain.
Of course, yeah. I appreciate you coming on.
Oh, we all have ADHD here. You have to if you're a streamer,
right? Y'all, and I'm not y'all, but like streamers, Nick Merckx, these XQC, all these big people, y'all got to remember that your chatters, these super chats, these are real people. You are going to tick off the wrong person at some point if you keep burgeoning through life pretending you're untouchable. I talked about that earlier. You weren't here for that, Matt. It was a good segment. You think you're untouchable. You're not AOC. You're not Marjorie Taylor Greene. You have skeletons in your closet. And the people you scorned are looking at you, pretend you're not that person.
Wow. We do know
Like-
Marjorie Taylor Greene has skeletons in her closet. That came out.
Yeah, she had an affair with Zangief. That's a pretty big skeleton.
Right.
Yeah.
And then she killed my mom. She ate her, man. Like, what the fuck? Anyway.
Also, she posted a video of her like doing a handstand and was saying, "This is what I think of the Capitol." And I'm like, "What? What is that supposed to mean? Are you like farting?" Like, I don't, because it like zoomed. It showed her handstand and then zoomed into like the Capitol. I'm like, what's the message here? It's so stupid and random.
It's to make it's exactly
It's
it's to
all in
make you
code now.
think that.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. I hope
thank
you all have a
you.
good
Thank
night.
you so much
and
for coming on, Paradigm.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
appreciate you, Paradigm. Nice talking to you.
appreciate that. Y'all know where to find me. I'm
We'll
gonna
put
be
links
honest
down
with
below
you.
for sure.
Right, y'all know where to find me, but y'all four specifically, don't be strangers. A brother need a
Same.
shout out in this world. I'm trying my hardest. If I didn't impress you, you know where to find me. I do segments every day on the YouTube. Go look them up. I talked about everything and I can always keep talking. Thank you so much.
Yeah, take care.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Peace.
All
I
right,
do enjoy how
Kowalski.
I do enjoy how he dropped this secret information about hinted at this secret information about Musk, and then he was like, "All right, I'll be seeing myself out."
Well, now I'm so curious. I'm going through Reddit right now. I'm like, oh, I have to find something.
he brought it
about
to
this.
the
This
best
is a rumor I haven't even
person.
heard of.
Yeah, Matt Bender, the journalist who does all this
I mean,
investigative
it's
stuff.
whatever he's talking about is obviously a rumor. If it was something with legs, I would have. I'm pretty sure I would have known about it. At least when it comes to Musk.
Yeah, it's kind of like
but,
your job. It's like your area.
Yeah.
I mean, he. I do know he obviously, and this was in a Bloomberg report. He hit on various employees of his companies, specifically SpaceX.
Tried to impregnate them. Was doing economics, like courses for hand jobs and shit like that.
And he has
Wait,
had
what?
children.
Oh, right.
He has had children with employees.
Yeah.
So this is a guy who certainly is just very, very weird, very, very bizarre guy. I don't know.
He loves to breed.
Yeah.
That's something we can kink shame. You can kink shame breeding, like breeders, right? Like people who just want to, like, they can only get off if they impregnate people. Like that's strange.
We absolutely can.
That sounds like a paraphilia, like on some level.
We can.
I mean, we
would
traditionally
kink shaming.
Yeah.
We would traditionally call people like that, like out. Like there's been cases of people who go around just impregnating women and then disappearing, like under false pretenses, and then disappearing on them specifically because, in their own words, they wanted to spread their seed and get their DNA out there. These have been like, there's been like cult figures. This has been
donate to a sperm bank.
Like this has been a thing.
If that's something you have to do, donate to a sperm bank.
Or don't and just pretend like you did. Like,
it's
not.
Please don't make more of you,
please
you
not.
weirdos.
The people who are doing this should not be multiplying.
Have as many kids as you want, but like be a parent to them. Like treat them as if they're human beings.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not here to say don't have
That's
kids.
the funny thing. That's the funny thing about these like right wingers who all of a sudden are like, oh, the left wants no kids, and like we're the ones
We're gonna outbreed them.
that want 10 kids. like I don't talk about my children as if they are racehorses. I mean,
you didn't have your kids to own the right.
Yeah,
I think it's great if you want. Listen, I will say I have. This is a very specific, usually conspiratorial leftist that does this. They're usually very small in number, or whatever. But the leftists that are like, "Oh, don't have kids because of the climate change or whatever," I don't agree with that. I don't agree with like that idea. I think people should have children if they want children. You having or not having a kid is not going to affect climate change at all. I'm sorry, it's just not. If you don't want to have a kid, more power to you too. I'm not someone who's you should do what you want to do and be happy with that choice.
Yeah, if you want a kid and you can give it love, then do it.
Yeah.
If you're gonna love and provide for a kid, then do it.
But this idea that you're like breed, it's so bizarre.
It's really
so
weird.
They're human. Not only they're human beings, they're not like you don't own them. Like they are their own person. Like they have emotions and feelings and wants and needs that aren't yours, and to treat them as if they're like your pet or your like I said
means
before,
to
your
an end.
racehorse.
Yeah,
it's
so
so
weird.
fucking bizarre. It's
Also,
so
you see
bizarre.
in Higher Reichek's post about it, she said, "We're gonna outbreed the left. I'm gonna do my part, but I'll have like 9 babies." And I was like, "Do you realize there's no way to genetically breed like right wingers? Like you can't eugenics people who want like the world to be liberated or people to be free. You can't do that. You can't like.
Yeah, you
there's no way to
can.
do this.
Just give them brain damage. Shake them as a baby.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
Worked for John Fetterman, right?
Touche.
All right, so Kowalski, thank you so much for the $9.99. The pandemic did not impact to all that much, to be quite honest. I'm already socially isolated as a farmer, and all I know is Gen X is predominantly compromised of weak bloodlines. Damn. Savage.
Just like the royal family.
Yeah. Rolando Capella with $4.99. Thank you. It is astounding that Nintendo avoided their major announcements leaking early, considering how things are today. What games are your most anticipated? It is astounding, isn't it? I was totally shocked by the new Zelda game and Metroid Prime 4. My games that are the most anticipated, for sure, the Zelda game, new one.
What's so funny, Lance? You got to share with the class?
It's really hard to predict what titles Nintendo is going to release any single year. It's because there's one of 7 options, really. It's going to be a Zelda game, a Mario game, maybe a Kirby game. Oh, a Metroid game. What? Like
you are reducing it though, because like there's like variations on all of those. Like
there's
and I love there's a Mario game, but it's Mario
there's some
Luigi,
of the best titles that come out in any given year. I agree. But it's easy to predict what like franchise you're gonna get, like it's one of the 7 essentially.
And every 10 years
I can guarantee you ain't getting any more Earthbound.
One day.
Well, I was expecting nothing but remakes since they're kind of holding everything for the new Switch.
Me too.
But the fact that we got so many new titles was actually pretty surprising. To be honest, the only one that I'm looking forward to on Switch is the new Zelda game. My big most anticipated games are Black Myth Wukong, Phantom Blade Zero, and probably stuff coming out next year, like the GTA 5 and whatnot. But in terms for this year, mostly Zelda and the Elden Ring DLC, which comes out next week. So,
wait, what were those first 2 games you said, Mike?
Black Myth Wukong and Phantom Blade Zero.
Yeah, why do video games now all have these like really long titles? Like whatever happened to just like Mario?
Because all the short ones are taken up already.
Super Mario, okay?
They got to keep extending the names.
Yeah, exactly.
Baseball. I remember playing baseball on the NES.
I played hockey. I love hockey on the NES.
They can't do that now because those are taken.
Yeah.
I got so many games I'm looking forward to. I could answer this question too, but it's okay. Metaphor Refantasia, I will say, is probably my most anticipated one. But apart from that,
that looks good actually.
Stuff. It's like it's from the Persona team, but it's like a whole new franchise. Looks great.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking that's a JRPG. Yeah, that one looks good. The new what's it called? Tales game. I don't know the name of it, but that one looks really good. It's coming out this year in like July or something.
Did they announce it a Tales game?
It's like Tales of something, and it looks amazing.
Thinking of it's not Tales. I'm looking this up right now.
God, I'm blanking on it. Chat, help me out. It looks like Dragon Quest.
Tales of Fantasia?
Trails. You're checking Trails, not Tales.
Oh, Trails. Okay, Trails of something.
Is it Mana? There's so many freaking Trails games, but
oh right, it was like
Let me see.
Trials of Mana, Trails of something. But it's a new one in that series. God, I'm fucking it up. I've never played the series before, but this one looks really good. Hopefully the chat knows which one I'm talking about. But there's
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's in the Trails of Mana series. No idea
East
what
10
the new
Nordics
name is.
looks really good too. And there's a lot of indie games like Demon School is one I'm looking forward to. That comes out later this year. Hades 2, I'll wait till that. It's early access. It's apparently done, but I'll wait till it fully releases.
Yeah, agreed.
Anyways, we can move on.
Sir Lava with a super chat. Jake Shields is a clown. He must have done an online DNA test. They often show 1% Native American ancestry and others because of statistical noise.
Oh,
yeah. You know what? That's a good point. These guys do, seem like the type of guy who sees like who gets one of these like online DNA tests, and they see that they're like, like 0.05% black or something like that, and then they go around going like, oh well, I guess I got the I got the N-word pass now or something. Just also for me, Looney Tunes 9,000 with a super chat. Here's your weekly payday. Great content, thank you.
I love the button.
I would use
the simple things in life.
Angelin de Bakashaki with a $5 super chat.
Bakashaki.
Oh, thank you for the emoji. Yeah. I just realized I know what that sounds like now. That noise that the peace emoji. Yeah, the noise you're playing now sort of sounds like a speaker monitor in like an office where it's like a doctor's, like a hospital, like paging Dr. Binder, paging Dr. Binder.
It's actually the beat button. So I can, if I'm gonna swear, you piece of.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, but the way you were tapping on it.
Yeah, but I'm just tapping it.
Oh, and also that's the 1-2 emoji, not the peace emoji. Just so you all know.
The what?
The 1-2. The Trump.
Yeah.
That's what the emoji is referring to, for sure.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah.
Are you gonna play it, David? Are you gonna?
I missed that. I was looking for it. I got like 3 pages here.
1 and 0 and 2.
It's still funny to me for some reason. Like
it is.
I've heard it a million times.
You know what? Even no matter how many times I hear it, when I'm trying to replay it to myself, I downplay just how ridiculous it is. How
it's same.
Like it doesn't like in my head I hear like 1 and 0 and 2, but he doesn't even say it like that.
Yeah.
2 doesn't do it justice.
And 2.
It's so insane.
Just cool.
It's like he suddenly becomes Melania or something.
I don't know, I'd be surprised if he spent that much time with her. I don't know.
Right.
Starts taking on her accent.
Oh, this one's for me. Hold on, I lost myself. Oh, here we go. Kowalski with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Kowalski. As a 6'5", blonde hair, blue eyes, land-owning, heterosexual Protestant white male in great shape at 30 with 20 Tinder matches waiting for him, you forgot to mention
my interest.
Former Republican senatorial candidate. I'm feeling pretty optimistic about the future.
Thank you, Andrew.
For me, Andrew S., member for 11 months. Just wondering if anyone saw Kendrick's The Pop Off concert yesterday. I saw a bunch of clips circling online.
So good. So
I'm just kind of like tired of. I feel like that's old news now.
It was amazing. It was life changing. It was
like
such a good concert.
People are still talking about this. Okay, all right.
I did like the camera angles with the what. I was like, oh my god,
so cool.
So dope. Yeah, loved it.
I rather see Kendrick and J Rock do Money Trees live. I want to see that. That would get me interested, because I think I saw them perform that once, and it was like randomly at a mall, and I haven't seen a proper like live version of that song, and that's what I want to see. Anyway.
Yeah, Zero says that Kendrick performed one song 5 times. I find that amazing. That's so amazing.
Technically 6, because one was an instrumental, and I think it was 6 times for the six times for the 6 god. Yeah. So.
Oh my god, love it.
Very good.
Zainab Day, thank you so much for the $5. How do you think that privileged upper middle class play into us going backwards, especially those that tokenize and push people out of movements? I don't know. It's hard to say. I think that the people who are very privileged, like PMC type people, those are the people that I think the Democratic Party would prefer to have more so than like the lefties and the young people, because those people, they're already privileged. So, their expectations are going to be fairly low. They're fine with just like the status quo. So I think they're bad in that sense, but they can be good in the sense that, like, if somebody's a class traitor and they're using their privilege for good, I think that they could be very helpful. So I guess it kind of depends on the person, right? I don't know if that answers your question, but that's kind of like
Because I know you're talking about how those types of people push people out of movements. Are you kind of talking about like the bourgeois type of like liberals who use like identity politics and whatnot to tokenize? I mean, yeah, if we're talking about those types, like the Hillary Clinton worshiping types, I think those people are dangerous. But at the same time, I don't know. That's always something that we've had to contend with within the Democratic Party. So I don't necessarily think it's a new issue for us. It's just one that the left hasn't really been able to contend with because their numbers are bigger than our numbers, right, of engaged lefties. So I don't know. I hope that answers your question, though, Zainab. Nice to see you.
I'm also not a big fan of the PMC class terminology because it's outdated, in my opinion. A lot of people would fall under that category. Anyone who does any sort of computer work, anyone who's not doing, service industry or labor job, like manual labor jobs, they would be considered PMC. And would you consider like some like low-level office employee to be, some 22, 23-year-old guy or girl, getting shit on from their boss, getting crap wage, but working in office? Would you consider them a professional managerial class? But that's what they're considered.
I think that if you go by actual class is better.
All of us would be considered a PMC by the classic, the definition of it.
Yeah, we're not blue collar workers by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, streaming, doing YouTube videos, that's very PMC. Yeah, I guess it just depends on it depends on class and status and really ultimately what you advocate for. Because again, I don't care if you're a rich person. Well, if you're too rich, then we're gonna tax you and confiscate that wealth. That's a different conversation. But it just depends on what you advocate for. If you advocate for the right thing and you care about people and use your privilege to try to help people who are less fortunate than you, I'm cool with you. I think you have to be able to form broad coalitions in order to accomplish anything. So if they're willing to be good people, I'm cool with them. I don't care where they come from.
Rolando, David, I just found out that there is a 31-year-old drought of a Canadian team winning the Stanley Cup. For the sake of my Panthers, I hope it goes for one more. So first of all, Rolando, you are the first Panthers fan I've ever seen in real life. So congratulations for actually existing, because I did not know Florida Panthers have real fans. So it's really good to know. I will say, so I thought the Panthers were going to maybe even sweep this series after the first game. And
but you weren't
Oilers now have
Donald Trump posting about it. You weren't counting on Donald Trump posting about it.
Well, I'm sure that's the reason why Panthers have lost 2 games in a row.
It is the curse.
What? This happened before?
The Oilers lost 3 games, and just as Game 4 begins, Donald Trump, for the first time ever, posts about the Florida Panthers and wishes them good luck in defeating the Oilers.
It has nothing at all to do with the best player in the world being on the Edmonton Oilers and him playing fucking amazing.
Where was McDavid for the first 3 games?
Donald Trump.
Where was McDavid for the first 3 games?
Right. And next, you're going to tell me that Grimace had nothing to do with the Mets winning streak? I mean, give me a break, David. Clearly, these things are going on right now.
He doesn't understand sports. That's all I'm going to say.
Anyways, like I was saying, anybody not watching hockey right now, you should just get up to speed. What's going on? Panthers won 3 games in a row. It's best of 7 series. All they have to do is win 1 more game, and they look like they were just going to roll over the Oilers. And they lost game 4, lost game 5. It is now a very close series. It's going back to Edmonton tomorrow. The last game I saw was it was a close game. It was an amazing game. What?
When is it going back to Edmonton? When is it going back to Edmonton?
Tomorrow. And then Monday is, and then if Edmonton wins on Friday, then it's Game 7 in Florida on Monday. So it's going to be the series has been amazing.
The
so if you haven't watched it,
shame for Florida, to be 3 up in a series in the final to then lose 3 games in a row,
and they were in the finals last year. If they lose
they
again,
were in the finals last year.
This would be disastrous for the Rolando and his friend that like the Panthers, but everyone else is not going to care. So.
David, you downplayed though the turnaround. It wasn't just like they won Game 4; they won 8-1.
Yeah, they won 8-1. It was a shellacking. But this is the Panthers have a history of doing this where they'll win 3 games and then lose the 4th game, but they always come back and win the next game and they win the series. This time it was a closer game, but they still lost. And now the fear has been struck in the heart of Panther fan and the team. So it is it's great. Watch the games. They're great.
David, when you said for anyone not paying attention to hockey right now, this is me. Did you say that?
Well, you got homework to do. Friday night. Cancel all your plans.
I'm gonna come back with a full report. Okay, the Edmonton Oilers, they're fucking crushing it. Mark, he's doing great.
Mark.
Good old Mark.
I'm trying to think who has the first name Mark. I'm sure there's a Mark.
I mean, but
There's
even
a Mark,
listen,
yeah.
even if you aren't like a big fan of any particular sport that we're talking about, or even sports in general, like things like this, you have to sort of just like get into. Like this is like beyond just like a hockey moment. This is like a cultural moment.
I mean, to further contextualize it, there's only one team ever in NHL history has come back in the Stanley Cup final from being down 3-0 to come back to win the series, and that was in 1942. My Toronto Maple Leafs did it again. I think it was against the Red Wings, I believe. I forget who it was against, but they came back to win that in 1942, and then. Surprisingly, only 3 teams since then have even won 2 more games since being down 3-0. And the last one being New Jersey, and I think it was like 2012. But before that, it was like 1970 or something. So it's even just winning 2 games after being down 3 is doesn't happen. So they have a chance to win to tie this series, and that would be insane if they did that. But we will see.
It sounds fun. I am envious.
Sorry?
Everybody's really enjoying it. So, like, I hear a lot of people talking about it. So I'm like, man,
you don't have to be envious.
I wish
this
I
is something you could partake in.
Yeah, you could partake in. You could be a part of it. You could watch.
It's not like we're talking about going on our private yachts. You could do this, Mike.
Yeah,
put it on the television.
But I mean,
you can watch it
if
from your yacht.
You're not at all into sports.
I'm not into any sports. No.
Yeah, I could see not having a hard time getting into it.
I wish nobody in my family was like my dad wasn't, my big brothers weren't.
Not even
nobody.
Not even like soccer when like Portugal plays like Euro Cup or World Cup.
Not even my straight big brothers.
My Portuguese side fucking goes wild. Like Portugal is in the Euro Cup right now. They won the first game.
Oh, they don't even care.
It was Czechia. It was like wasn't too
yeah,
hard.
yeah. Just nobody's in my family into it, so I never got into it.
That's crazy. I've never heard a Portuguese family not be into soccer, but
no, yeah, it is like not stereotypical of them, like, but yeah, they're just not. It's crazy.
I'm gonna grab my last chat since I'm gonna go and it's late. Troy, thank you for the very generous $10 super chat. It says my liberal wife tonight was talking about voting for Trump because of the economy.
Oh my God.
Did you leave her immediately? I looked at her dumbfounded and told her to stop drinking that cheap $5 wine and sleep it off. Wow. You got
Troy.
Okay. You got some
my
trouble.
wife, my liberal wife.
That was very random, Bender, of you. That is, you got some trouble in the bedroom there, Troy. Got to work on that.
Troy, I recommend a sex strike.
Do it. Withhold sex.
Maybe maybe that's what she's trying to do, but doesn't want to do it directly. So she's pretending to be a Trump supporter now to get Troy to stop. Being interested in.
I don't know. I think Troy made up that scenario to just basically show off that he's married. That's what I think.
Humble brag.
$10 to show off, though. I don't know. Is that worth it? All right, I'm gonna go. This is the next chat.
Okay. Thanks, David.
Can
I
fingers crossed for the Oilers tomorrow?
I only have 3.
Oh yeah.
Oilers
go ahead.
Win.
Okay. Thank you to Mika Gelfin for the $20 dono with the very cute emojis. Really appreciate that. So generous of you. Looney Tunes 9000 with the $5. Did you hear Louisiana became the first state to require the 10 Commandments in public schools? Watch out for laws upcoming to Jeff Landry. I didn't know that. Did y'all know that?
I did. Yeah. Yeah. And Kevin Sorbo, he was defending it, and he's like, because somebody they responded because he was supporting it, and they were like, well, how would you respond if they mandated like LGBTQ plus
statues or whatever the fuck in school. He's like, well, no, see, because our country was founded on one nation under God. And people are like, no, that was added to the pledge in 1954, you dummy. Like, what are you talking about? Like, come on. Read the First Amendment, dumbass.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't know that part. And then finally, Manny Spinoza with the $5. Just wanted to give you an update on my recovery. Managed to walk a mile today on a treadmill, 31 minutes. I'm really excited. Just wanted to tell people congratulations.
Wow.
Manny Spinoza has been going through rehab after a really bad car accident. So that's really wonderful to hear.
That's a big accomplishment. Good for you.
Hell yeah. And then just thank you for the subbies, the sacrificial Mel. Thanks for subbing. Hank Scorpio, thank you for subscribing with the Prime. And I think that's all by me. So y'all can take it away.
You better. Are you staying, Lance? Or are you leaving?
Yeah, I'm staying.
Oh, okay, cool.
We don't have too much
Looney Tunes
actually.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Matt immediately is like, so give me Hassan's fucking chat. Come on. I'm not fucking around. I know that's exactly what she wrote. Yeah, and shout out to Hassan for the fucking massive raid. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
If you're staying, happy to have you. But if you were leaving, I'm not going to have you waste all those thousands of people tuning in. Looney Tunes 9000. Sinclair's Biden mental fitness is like a local Fox News fear-mongering report on a broken record. I gotta watch this. I gotta watch it.
Oh yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. The next super chat is related actually. From Zia Spots, $5. Thank you, Zia. Y'all, who the fuck is Matt Galka though? A national correspondent or something? Yeah, he's a national correspondent that thinks that this Washington Post story could be an election decider. And if Matt Galka says it, you take what Matt Galka says seriously because everybody's talking about this guy. Tokyo Hans. I think this
Tokyo Hans with a super chat rushes over to change blog title, celebrating Matt Binder. Oh, okay, very funny.
Tokyo Hans with 500 yen. Thank you. West Bank Apparel sells keffiyeh bracelets. Oh, I didn't know that. And donates to Palestinian causes. Okay, well, that's good to know. West Bank Apparel. I was not aware of them. This is for you, Matt.
Narrator with a super chat. The left has a history, and it's not as simple as being progressive. In my mind, when the lesser of two evils is a xenophobic genocider. Yeah,
I'll go to the next because it seems like there's a string of these.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Or one more.
Narrator continues. Leftists don't expend energy or use their power, no matter how small, to defend and support them. Period. Still love y'all. You're my fave liberals. What? I'm not a liberal.
Yeah, we're not liberals.
I think they're probably joking. Because you can see how touchy leftists are when you call them libs. Immediately, yeah, that's the worst insult. Like, what? What did you say?
Like, there's two things that you could call me that will get my attention: the F slur and a liberal. Like, I take that very seriously.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
Hell yeah.
No, you call me the F slur, I'll punch you in the face. But call me a liberal, we're gonna have some issues.
I'll give you a stern talking to.
Yeah. We're gonna have to square up. Okay, so I think the next one is for you, Matt.
Spasticus with a super chat. I gave my fiance a ring with glow in the dark dinosaurs because it's the intent. Can't go wrong if you focus on being personal instead of expensive. Well, maybe not everyone would appreciate glow in the dark dinosaurs on their wedding ring. But you obviously knew your future wife, your wife to be, so it worked for your specific case.
Look, it's about love. It's not about the ring itself. That's just the symbol. So you could take some twisty ties, twist that shit together, give it to her. If she doesn't accept it, then I guess it's not about the love, right? So it's a true test, actually.
Right.
Be very cheap. Absolutely. Is what I'm saying. Be very cheap.
Absolutely. Again, I don't know if you need to go as far as saying give her a twisty tie. But yes, the sentiment is...
I mean, you could go a little bit more expensive and get, like, I don't know, a ring pop, but don't splurge. An onion ring, yeah. Don't splurge though. I mean, it's about right. your love. Okay, next one for you, Matt.
Adam Christopher with a super chat. Binder, your thought on the Wyatt 6 debut. I thought it was awesome. I'm a big fan of big debuts in wrestling like that, big surprise debuts. They're a 5-person horror group that just debuted in the WWE. The leader is Bray Wyatt's brother, who Bray Wyatt is a WWE wrestler who suddenly died last year as they were doing a storyline, him and his brother, and his brother's been off TV ever since, and now he's coming back as that same character with a group that basically is like a tribute to his deceased brother. This isn't, by the way, wrestling storyline. The guy really died. And yeah, I think it was cool. It was cool. This was apparently was going to be something that involved him before he passed away. And so they're basically going ahead as like tribute and finishing the last gimmick he would have been involved with. And they debuted, and I thought it was cool. Wrestling is on 52 weeks a year, multiple days a week for hours at a time. They have unlimited time. If a storyline just doesn't work, they could always just nix it. So I have no problem with them trying things out like this. I thought it was pretty cool.
Next one.
Dig It Dave with a membership super chat, member for 11 months, almost a year. Dig It Dave, thank you. Happy solstice. Is that now? Is that did what?
I don't know. I don't pay
Happy
attention.
solstice.
I don't know.
Isn't the solstice in the winter? Or summer solstice?
There's two. There's summer solstice and winter solstice, right?
Oh, look, that is today.
Is it?
It's today.
June 21st. June 21st. Almost today.
Happy solstice, everybody.
How is it?
Wow.
God, it's June 21st almost. God damn.
Now Satan will rise from the ashes.
Yes.
Oh no, it is today. This year it was today. This was the longest day of the year today.
Yeah, it's today.
Really?
Damn. I wish I knew.
I had no idea. I have not been paying attention at all.
Talk about, depressing and everything going not our way. It's all downhill from here. Every day after today is shorter than the last.
Darker and more gloomy. No, I'm excited for summer. Got another one for you.
Ton Bosin, the super chat. Catch you on Saturday. Brush up on your door knocking. Oh, right. I promoted it on my own stream and on the Majority Report, but because I got here late, I forgot to do it here. So I will be taking part this weekend in a event put together by Progressive Victory in Tarrytown, New York. It's like basically around Yonkers. It's about maybe like 20, 30 minutes and maybe more like 30 minutes outside of Manhattan. We are doing a lefty streamer door knocking event, canvassing event for Jamal Bowman. We are going to get together and literally hit the streets and go door knocking for Jamal Bowman. When we aren't doing that, we will be doing streaming stuff together. We'll be doing, I'm sure, panels, discussions, things like that. It'll be streamed on a whole bunch of different channels. I'm sure. I'm gonna do my best to make sure it's on my channels as well. So far, coming to the event, and the idea behind this is streamers do this and people will come out, like their fans will come out. I've been telling people to come out. So hopefully you all come out if you're in the area. Joining us in person, Ariana Jasmine, who's been on this show.
Oh, very cool.
Suri Skeptic. Let's see who else. Chill Goblin. Let's see. We're in Hell. Let's see who else. Hey, it's Vadim is going to be there.
Hey, that's
cool. Who else? Let's see. Stacy K will be there. Nominal Naomi will be there.
Oh, okay. I know her. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure a few other streamers will be there, and I'm like 99% sure that Vosh will also be there. So a lot of people coming out.
That's a lot of people
getting together to do our best to reelect Jamal Bowman. I really respect Representative Bowman seriously, and that's sort of what compelled me to really take part in this. because not only is he being attacked and his seat is in danger because of his position on Israel and Palestine, but he also hasn't let all this money flowing in because of his position on Israel and Palestine change his position. Like a lot of politicians, you'd see them at the very least stop talking about it, but he still centers his entire campaign around it. And he, in a debate with George Latimer, his challenger, who literally is like this 1970s style Democrat, who's out there saying how Jamal Bowman will probably walk away with at least 40% of the vote due to the ethnic makeup of the district. Like he said that.
The dog whistles he uses every single day is so wild to me.
Like this dude is like an old school racist. Like the things he says. And on top of that, there's these other issues that haven't been covered by the media where apparently he had an affair, which I don't care about. I don't care about the affair. But he had an affair. And then the woman he had the affair with, he appointed to a position that pays her $150,000 a year.
That's so bad. Wow.
How has nobody covered this outside of local media when it happened? Like this dude is corrupt. He's a racist. He got into an argument. We've covered this before. He got into an argument with a woman who called into to a radio show he was on to rightly critique him for comparing Emmett Till to Andrew Cuomo to Emmett Till.
Yeah. He's a foreign asset.
He went on to say to that woman who called in that there's nothing he can say to her that'll change her mind on him, because she's not going to vote for someone like him because it doesn't match her, like the ethnicity that she's going to vote for. Like this dude is a racist.
He's straight up racist. I mean,
like he is a racist.
Yeah.
Like it's not like the cliche, like, you said something like slightly like off, sort of non-PC, you're a racist. No, this dude is a legitimate fucking racist, like an old school style racist.
Yeah, absolutely. He deserves to lose.
Also, Hillary Clinton endorsement, that's all you need to know right there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That
exactly. Yep.
If Hill Dog's backing the candidate, the other person's probably better. That's all there is to it.
It's the easiest.
And he keeps doing this thing to prove,
literally.
And he keeps doing this thing to prove, quote unquote, he's not a racist by constantly bringing up his black friends, his black supporters.
Oh my God, cringe.
That's what Charlie Kirk just did recently.
Wow.
God, what a piece of shit.
In fact, the caller that he blew up on literally told him to address the issue without bringing up his black supporters, and he went on to bring up his black supporters like indirectly, immediately.
Yeah, awful. What a terrible person.
Like it also just shows to you just how bullshit establishment Dems are. Like if they have a candidate that the black electorate, the black Democratic electorate, like the majority of the black electorate supports, they'll flaunt that as like, vote like a black woman, believe, this and trust in them. They are the heart of the Democratic Party. And then when you have a candidate who they don't like and don't support, who has that black support, all of a sudden that's just out the window. We never said that. They are so fucking two-faced when it comes to this shit. It is ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay, the next one here is from Omega Shenron Dragon with $5. Thank you, Omega. Great show as always. Thank you. I also acknowledge the tribal chief. Love failing wannabe influencers who give the game away quick. Also, Mike, I'm on Ep 540. Okay, so One Piece. Yeah, we're about the same. I can't remember the specific episode I'm on, but I'm towards the end of the Fishman arc, I think, in One Piece. And yeah, it's good, of course. The whole show is just so good. So yeah, hope you're enjoying it too. And Zainab with $5. Thank you, Zainab. Just to clarify, I was talking about neoliberals. Okay, but I've experienced folks from poverty have less of a voice, and there's a class divide. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that for sure. Because I mean, you don't have the means to get your voice out there if you are impoverished. You know, to be able to, I mean, to even do the bare minimum and like share your story on the internet, you have to have the internet and a microphone, and you have to have time, which a lot of working class people don't, right? So yeah, I 1,000% agree with what you're saying there, Zainab. Okay, so this one is, and thank you so much, Troy, for being a member. This is for you, Matt, I think.
Oh, thank you, Troy, for becoming a member. Let me guess. It was my wife that won you over.
That did the trick. Bay Photo, $4.99. Thank you, Bay Photo. The mayor of my city just had her house raided by the FBI. True story. Wow. But did you hear about that election decider from correspondent Matt Galka? I have heard about that election decider. It's crazy as shit. You know, some people are saying that Washington Post story about Biden's age, it could be an election decider. So yeah, I heard that's funny about your mayor.
I heard the same thing.
If Matt Galka says it, we take it as the gospel. And last but not least, Zero PE. Thank you, Zero, with $4.99. You have a channel, a show, wrote a book, so when is the album coming by? Because those tracks you uploaded are fire. To be fair, I don't make the beats. I only try to mix them. But the beats are made by Raw Heats and Lord Magnus. Check out Lord Magnus, by the way. He's on Spotify. Amazing, amazing producer. He actually just sent me a couple more. And he mixed them. He did one with the Jasmine Crockett, the bad bleach blonde, bad built body or whatever. What she was saying, that Marjorie Green.
That was awesome.
That's a good one. I'll have to add that to the intro rotation. But yeah, I don't make the beats, but I try to mix them. I don't have software to mix it. Like I'm using Final Cut Pro, so it's not the best tool to work with. But you know, it's fun mixing in like the dummies, like you know the Jordan Petersons and the Tim Pools. I enjoy doing stupid shit like that. But yeah, that's it. So do we want to rate?
Hold on, before we go, before we go, I want to drop the in all the chats. I want to drop the link to sign up if you're in the area and want to come out to join us and knock on doors and canvas for Jamal Bowman. The link is right here with sign up. Get all the information you need. There you go. It should be a good time. It's 2 days too, by the way. If you can't make it Saturday, come out Sunday. If you can't make it Sunday, come out Saturday. If you can't make it either days, then sign up to do phone banking for Jamal Bowman. This is the most money ever put into a house race and it's to defeat AIPAC. Put in a historic amount of money
into like other super PACs, not branded by AIPAC, right? Like there was one called like the Fair or something, and then it's like that's AIPAC money. You can just do that. You can make multiple super PACs and transfer one PAC to the other PAC, and it's like, oh, that one's, don't worry, that one is not like a pro-Israeli lobby PAC. This one's it's Fair Elections PAC. It's good, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, this is they are going to try to defeat him, and they might be successful. They might not be. At this point, the campaign strategy, and this I should say, we're not officially involved with Jamal Bowman's campaign. This is a third party putting together an event to support Jamal Bowman. But if you want, you could do it through the campaign, contact the campaign, just do whatever you can. This is I think this is a big one. I think this is what's going to determine who wins this race. It's going to come out to turnout, and we need to get the neighborhoods in Jamal Bowman's district that are going to vote for him to turn out. Yes, we. Oh, Fair Shake is the crypto PAC. Yes, a pro crypto PAC is also joining with AIPAC to defeat Jamal Bowman. This is all hands on deck situation here.
Yeah, absolutely. Who do we want to raid on Twitch?
I was gonna send it to Caroline Kwan because she's awesome, and I did an interview with her recently, and she's really cool. She basically covers movies and TV shows and stuff, but she actually covers like pro union politics involved in them and stuff too. So
nice. How do you spell her name? I'll raid her too.
Caroline, spelled just like it normally is, Caroline, and then Kwan spelled Kwan. So Caroline Kwan.
All right, we'll send everyone her way.
It was
Bye,
nice
friends. See you next
seeing
Thursday.
everybody. You take
Well,
care.
hold on, I'm setting it up. Hold on. Don't end the stream quite yet. I got a raid along with you. Did you do it already?
I'm setting it up still. It's counting down.
I pressed the start button. It's doing the countdown for me too. All right, everybody, as you were all gonna say. See you next week, and maybe I'll see some of you this weekend.
Yeah, take care, everyone.
Well, I'm about to hit it. Don't start it yet. Did you hit it yet? Hold on.
I did.
All right, I'm pressing it.
All right.
Cool.